At CollectCo for Monday's live Facebook record sale. When you're on and watching, be sure to let us know. And we get everything set up here. Chat. All right. Oh, I'm signed out. Probably because I just signed you in that one. Hopefully this password works. Oh no. Let me try this. Okay, good. Let me go ahead and get this shared everywhere. Sorry we're a few minutes late. Tanner's not here. It's just me and Seth. And cart was almost dead. We were tagging pre-orders. Let me get this shared in all of our groups. And where's a whole lot of records at right there? Number 3. All right, now let me get this link. Copy link. Okay, there's that. Live now. Wife cut you off. Man, you know, one of the biggest downfalls to CollectCo sales are wives. And well, all I've got to say is let your men be free. Let them spend that money. Spend it. You can't take it with you. You cannot take it with you. What the heck are you going to do with a bunch of money? Wouldn't you rather have records? You can't go listen to your money. You work hard for it, right? You'll just make more. That's the way I see it. Y'all know what I spend a week on records? It's incredible. Of course, I buy them and resell them, but yeah, some people's like, you know what? They say I can't take my records with me. Well, if I can't, then I'm just going to open up a big hole in the ground, bulldoze them in there, and then say, you can't have them. They're going to go back to Earth. So, yeah, I'm with you, Toby. I'm going to stay single for a long time. See, I collect stuff. My house is going to look like a museum. And so, a museum from the 60s and 70s and other artifacts of different eras. So, I don't know if there's going to be too many wives that's going to be like, hey, you got to take all this stuff out. And I'm going to be like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to have my own room either. It's going to be like the whole house. All right. Let me get it shared on Instagram in our story. Oh, that's the URL. Duh, Chad. Live now. Alrighty. Here we go. Let's go through a crate from, we'll do our first warm-up crate of the night. We'll let everybody get on. These are, we got some great stuff. Good announcement. We got a crew right now in Wisconsin buying a collection. Yeah, you heard me right. We got a crew in Wisconsin right now buying a collection. Paul and Tyler's up there. We're buying records as we're here selling them. So my evil plan is finally working. I told myself the next thing to do this year would be to get well, we need that platform. We need kind of that.
I'm gonna fix it.
Okay, Seth's getting angry with me. The Wisconsin collection. Yep, they're in Wisconsin right now buying records. I actually need to text him back. Looks like we bought them. Looks like we've almost bought them. We just got to move them now. So, all right. Let me reset my chat. Let me start showing records. I'll tell you about Wisconsin later. All right, we have Modest Mouse, The Moon and Antarctica. 10th anniversary vinyl edition, The Moon and Antarctica by Modest Mouse. That is $44.99. Wasp Dominator is $28.99. Wasp Dominator is $28.99. And we have Metallica Saint Anger. Saint Anger is $36.99. $36.99. Metallica Saint Anger. And that was a surprise restock from last week. We don't keep a lot of those in stock. That's kind of like the love-hate Metallica album. I think it's hard to hate a Metallica album, but most fans seem to give that one a thumbs down. But it's one of those, like, if you're going to collect things, you got to have it. That's a cool cover, but they really butchered that one. Motorhead self-titled, $33.99. Motorhead self-titled, $33.99. The Police Synchronicity, $31.99 for The Police Synchronicity. Young Americans, David Bowie, $31.99. We have another Modest Mouse, which is We Were Dead Before the Ship Even Sank. That's $44.99. Modest Mouse, Modest Mouse. And our last copy of Wilco, Sky Blue Sky, 2LP set, half speed mastered for vinyl, $36.99. Ring the bell. We have our first sale of the night and first sale of the week, Brent McKinney on The Police Synchronicity. What a great album, too. My favorite Police song is King of Pain. Go listen to that one, then you'll want to come back and buy one of these. King of Pain. Of course, it's loaded with hits. Every Breath You Take and Synchronicity 2. Just Another Suburban Family Morning. You know, that's fantastic. Matthew Christ wants We Were Dead. That's Modest Mouse. Sell that to Matthew Christ. So, show just got started. If you just hopped on, it's me and Seth right now. Chip Hall asked, who handles invoices? That is Tanner Hackett for this week. We're still looking to hire somebody to be our customer service manager and work here at the store a couple days a week. It will be a 2-in-1. I've still got a lot of applicants I hadn't even looked at, but our invoicing is so complex now with the new law where we have to keep up with sales tax for certain states. Basically, there's a threshold of a state. If we sell a certain dollar amount, we have to collect sales tax. So there's a couple states like Indiana and South Carolina, I think is one of them. Don't hold me to this, in Georgia, where we've sold over $100,000 and we have to start collecting sales tax. We did last year, and we're definitely going to have to do it again. Or we almost hit that threshold last year. We're definitely going to hit it this year. So Tanner has to go through all these invoices, get people's zip code, all kinds of different stuff. Also, the police are at my house right now because I had a burglar alarm about 20 minutes ago, and it looks like they just opened my garage door, so I hope no one's broken into my house. So if I get a call here in a minute, I'm going to have to mute my mic and talk to the police. So, yeah, Seth will take over. I don't know. I hope nothing's going on, but Radiohead, King of Limbs, $31.99. So, of course, I announced that like a month ago. A couple states were going to have sales tax, but there's actually 3 more. I've talked to my CPA, and it's like Georgia, South Carolina. I think we may have already said those. That's Tanner's department, and we're trying to get that automated so whoever we hire, it's a very complex deal. I mean, it takes us hours now to invoice. It already took us hours. Now we have to invoice everybody with all these different zip codes. So it's North Carolina's what I'm thinking, Jerry. Maybe it's North Carolina. Okay. Joni Mitchell Blue, $31.99. So yeah, it's a good and bad thing. We're selling a ton in certain states. Actually, we're hitting a $100,000 threshold in all these different states. But that also means we got to start collecting tax from y'all. So it's good and bad. Our sales go up, which means usually the old saying is more money, more problems. And that's true. The more money you make, the more problems you have, whether it's a business or an individual, for sure. Taxes, and the government starts looking at you like this, to where they're putting a bigger magnifying glass over you. Tanner's not here. If you have a question, just message the page or email us. He's still sending invoices, so he won't look at any messages until tomorrow, Tuesday. So that's what's going on. Wilco, Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. Wilco is $44.99 for Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, $44.99. We have Chris Stapleton from Room A, Volume 1. From Room A, Volume 1, $33.99. And Joni Mitchell Blue. Joni Mitchell Blue is $31.99. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's going on in my house. I think the police are there now, but I'll find out just a moment. I got a burglar alarm on my garage, so I don't know. It's a new system. I don't know what's going on. I'll find out. Like I said, if I have to step away for a second, that's why. One more recap, and then I'll bring up some new vinyl. I've got new Japanese stuff. I've got new vinyl. I've got 8 crates of vintage. Whoa. 8 crates of vintage. And we're going to try to go through all of them we can. Modest Mouse, The Moon in Antarctica, $44.99. Tanner isn't here. My house got broken into. I know. It's crazy, isn't it? Wasp, $28.99. Maybe we should investigate Tanner. Saint Anger is $36.99. $36.99. And Motorhead, $33.99. David Bowie, Young Americans, $31.99. Modest Mouse, $44.99. Wilco, $36.99. Who needs a copy of one of the best? It's hard to say the best Led Zeppelin album. One of the better ones. They're all great. $31.99. Radiohead, $31.99. Joni Mitchell Blue, that's the Bernie Grundman. Amazing. Wilco, Chris Stapleton, Joni Mitchell. The Smiths records, I believe, are OG. Yes, I just snapped pictures of them. John showed them to me. Him and Paul found those in the back, and I was like, wow. Yeah, let's promote those. So I took a couple pictures of them. What else do we want to do? What's the furthest way you went to buy collections? Let's see. We have gone, we haven't went out west yet. I've turned down a lot of collections in Washington, California, because the more I think about it, I'm like, man, this is so hard to go get these. But yeah, for the most part, those are some of the furthest distance I've traveled. All right, let me get tonight's waiting list. I got a box here of new vinyl for you. I've got a box of new vinyl. Let me go through this. Let me print out the sheet. Tanner isn't here to make them look all nice and neat, but I'll try my best. Let me just shift this down. How many pages? 2 pages. That's not bad. Let me go ahead and bring these over here. So we're out of crates. When I was here this morning, when Paul, it's amazing. I was here this morning when Paul and Tyler left for Wisconsin. I was here. They left about 6:30 this morning. They're in Wisconsin right now, finishing up the deal, I think. And they took all of our crates. So you're going to be seeing some boxes tonight. We had like 75 crates, and they took, I think, 65 with them. And then they had to use some today for shipping and to price these records. I mean, John used 8 today to price records. So, yeah, let's go through some new arrivals. Let me see what's going on here. Jerry Stone wants Wilco, Sky Blue Sky. So probably the furthest I've been, I'd say Texas. I'd say Dallas. Let's see. Well, no, Pennsylvania. As far as driving time, I've been to Maine. I've been in Maine before buying records. I've been to Maine, Dallas, and Austin. I don't know which one's further west. I guess Dallas. And as far south as almost Miami. No, I've been further north than that. But I've been to southern part of Florida. And yeah, there's collections all the time in Seattle, but that's just you think about flying out to Seattle, and then you get off a plane, and then you got to rent a truck and drive it across the country unless you hire a shipping company. Because a couple of these people have huge collections that I've considered. But think about trying to get a semi of records from Seattle back to Nashville or East Nashville, where we're at in Lebanon. So tough to do. Allison Campbell, let's just make a note to get a pack of inner sleeves and outer sleeves. Allison, I will do that for you. That's the wrong Wilco. It is the wrong Wilco. He wanted Sky Blue Sky. That's Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. I better stop talking. Let me stop talking. We'll do story time later, and I'll sell you some records first. Okay, we have Neck Deep, another new arrival. They're coming out with something different, I think, every week now. Neck Deep, Peace and Panic, neon green vinyl. Neck Deep, The Peace and the Panic, Volume 3. That's $28.99, and that's sold to Mike Massey. Mike Massey. So Wilco to Jerry Stone. Mike Massey gets Neck Deep. We have the new Typo Negative release for this week. This is called Dead Again. I've only got one because I had 3, and then when I posted earlier that these had arrived, 2 other people claimed one. So I've only got one, and I need to obviously order more because there's not much with Typo Negative in stock right now. But here's the pre-order for that. Dennis Nelson, Matt Wermeyer, Steve Howe, Jay Condi, Richard Davis, and Greg Rogers. And if we could start a waiting list for Neck Deep, let's put Paul Beal at the top of it. That's Neck Deep, the one I just sold, please. And Typo Negative, T-O-N, that's sold to Dennis Nelson, Typo Negative. Dennis, you just claimed that. Yeah, you claimed that in the group. I already got you. You were one of the ones. We'll give that one to Jason Kenton. Dennis, I've already got yours pulled. We'll give that one to Jason Kenton. Okay, we got a restock of Volume 3. I thought I had a waiting list, but I guess I didn't. I've got 3 copies of the Tarantino Experience Take 3. This is Volume 3. Yellow and red vinyl. Matches the cover. $44.99. If you don't have that, I've been selling a lot of Volume 1s, Volume 2s, Volume 3s. You can figure out what you need, and I've got Volume 3. That's the only one I think I have in stock. Somebody asked about the Scorpions. The Scorpions Blackout is $28.99. $28.99. All right, got a restock of Ace Frehley. Now, I had a waiting list for this. It was from a few weeks ago. Want to make sure everybody still wants one. Ace Frehley, Brandon Jackson, Ken Crooker, Arthur Maldondo, and Trey Mendenhall. Brandon Jackson, Ken Crooker, Arthur Maldondo, and Trey Mendenhall. I had a waiting list for the Ace Frehley. That's a black vinyl remaster, and those are $33.99. $33.99. Tracy said, I've been on the waiting list for Tarantino. Okay, what I'll do is, Tracy, I'm going to set that aside because I have a feeling that's on my laptop somewhere, and I must have coded it. I might have misspelled Tarantino because I have to search my spreadsheet, and I was trying to find those, but I will make sure you get one. I won't forget that. Ace Frehley is $33.99, and I'll go ahead and say it. That is my favorite of the Kiss solo albums. Let's flip-flop the Neck Deep. Mike Massey said he already had it, and we can go ahead and give that to Paul. That's okay with me if it's okay with Paul. Got a restock of Rock and Roll Over. Kiss Rock and Roll Over. Haven't had this one. Nope, I don't have this one. $33.99. Pulp Fiction soundtracks. I think I ordered some last night, Joseph. I think I ordered some last night, to be 100% straight with you. I went through, every once in a while I go through the soundtracks and see what I got, see what they have in stock. So we'll swap the Neck Deep, Jared Benoit on Blackout. I got Kiss Rock and Roll Over. Now I've already posted this, but this was a big restock. I posted this on Thursday or Friday, maybe Saturday, probably Friday or Saturday. If you didn't see it, we've got Soundgarden, Screamin' Life, and it's actually 2 EPs, Screamin' Life and FOP, $33.99. Now, I'm going to read everybody that's already got one of these. I had 50 of them come in. Some people were like, I don't know if you'll have enough, but I want one. I've got plenty. I've got about 20 more to sell. That Soundgarden, Screamin' Life, and FOP. Great music on there, too. Jared Benoit also wants Ace Frehley, the Kiss solo album, Ace Frehley. So Screamin' Life is $33.99. I'm going to read everybody who's already got one. That's Dwayne Sevilla, Robin Pruitt, Robert Johnson, Dylan Weishaupt, Terry Myers, Vernon Lehman, Corey Wade, Chris DeMoss, William Simmons, Dale Shannon, Nick Pullen, Christopher Nagy, Darren Wortman, Jerry Stone, Gary Samuels, James Rayner, Sherry Darnell, Bob Reiger, Alvo Dabney, Katie Gomez, Chris Ligero, Paul Brothers, Belinda Daub, and Greg Preston. That's Soundgarden, Screamin' Life. Let's give one to Brad Green. I forgot to read off my name. Chad Williams wants one. I don't think I have that. I've had an OG of one of those. I guess Screamin' Life. At one time we did, or maybe both of them. I can't remember. I buy and sell so many records. I should have kept those, but $33.99 for Soundgarden. Judas Priest, Killing Machine, $29.99. Crowns Lands Fearless, $49.99. And Seth, this is probably where you need to get your pen ready. Rage Against the Machine, Evil Empire, $29.99. Rage Against the Machine, Evil Empire, $29.99. That's been out of stock for quite some time. That has the hit song Bulls on Parade, $29.99. Now, what I'm going to do, the last two, I'm going to say who's left. The last two have light. They're almost camouflage, but they have light seam crackle. So I've got 10 copies. I'll go in order. We'll read off those names a couple times, make sure we get them all taken down accurately. And Rage Against the Machine's $29.99. That's the one that's been missing. We've had Renegades. We've had Self-Titled, Battle of Los Angeles. We've been missing this one. So hopefully I have enough for everybody tonight, and then I'll take a waiting list. Usually stuff like this, when they come back into stock, that means I probably can go ahead and order more. If anything, they'll be back in by the end of the week. So, all right, I've got Jerry Stone, Rage Against the Machine, Evil Empire. Andrew Schoen, Rage Against the Machine, Evil Empire. Martin Pryor, Rage Against the Machine, Evil Empire. Tracy Miller, Rage Against the Machine, Evil Empire. Chuck Wilson, which is Vamp on YouTube. Angela Leckington. Will Price. Alan Case. And let me scroll past Craig's price comment. Thank you, Craig, for commenting the price. Brandon Lack and James Cohorn. Now, Brandon Lack and James Cohorn, I don't know if y'all can see that. These have very light seam crackles. If y'all want these, let me know, but that's the only two I have left. If either one of y'all pass, then I'll ask the same question to Jesse or Jim, or if you just want on a waiting list whenever we got mint copies. It's almost unnoticeable, but it's there. So those are Brandon Lacks and James Cohorns unless they pass. And then James says he'll take it. All right, and I have a feeling Jesse probably will too. Brandon will too. He passes. James says he'll take it. So let's see if Jesse wants that or Jim Engelman. Brandon, do you want on a waiting list for a pristine one? So that means Brandon passes. So James gets one. That means number 10 can go to either Jesse or Jim. Jesse or Jim. All right, let me go through that bin one more time. He says put him on a waiting list, and that means we'll see if Jesse and Jim wants that last one of a seam split, or a crackle, I guess you should say. So here's what we have. Tarantino Volume 3, $44.99. We have Ace Frehley, $33.99, 2 left. Rock and Roll Over, 2 left, $33.99. And Jesse and Jim says they'll take a waiting list. Okay, so we have 1 left with a seam crackle, if anybody wants that one. So that's the last copy we have that's available. It does have a seam crackle at the top. Soundgarden, $33.99, Screaming Life. Judas Priest is $29.99, and Crown Lands Fearless is $49.99. Eli said he'll take the last one with a seam crackle. Okay, and that means we got 3 people on a waiting list for that. I figured that would sell out. When I saw that was being shipped this week, I was like, yep, consider those sold. Evil Empire. All right, let's go through a crate of new vintage stuff. We got a lot of stuff we could auction. Let me go through the crates and see what I have in here. Probably some of those Smiths albums that I pulled. I've got a couple sealed Beatles. That's what Help was. It was sealed. And I hope that our in-house Beatles experts are watching to help me confirm what year they're from. Nigel and John. We have a feeling we know based on the RIAA number. And then I'm going to get new Japanese stuff started too. Let me figure out what's in these bins here. Is this check condition? Yeah, let's do a bin of check condition. Boy, these are great titles. A couple of metal LPs in here too. Yeah, let's go through. We love the check condition stuff. Let's go through it first, and I'll start some new Japanese auctions. Daniel Burge, do you want Kiss? Now, Daniel, do you want Rock and Roll Over or Ace Frehley? Most of the time people say Kiss, they mean the actual album. I've had that happen before, the Rock and Roll Over album. The Judas Priest was Killing Machine. Killing Machine. Paul Brothers wants on the Rage waiting list. Rage waiting list. All right. During the break, I might have to go to my house right quick. Okay. New vintage arrivals. How about we start a Japanese auction first? Let's see what we got. I haven't even got to look at these. Let's start with some, if we're doing check condition vintage, let's do some check condition Japanese. Michael Potts also on the Rage waiting list. We have Carole King Tapestry, a classic album. Carole King Tapestry. This is a Japanese grade of VG+, which means I see some scuffing right here. Boy, side A is near mint minus. Side B has some scuffing right here. Looks like some sleeve scuffing. Probably non-audible. We grade these very precisely. Very precisely when it comes to superficial marks. So we grade hard on these even if they're just superficial marks. This is a $25 start. $25 start. There's Carole King's Tapestry. What a beautiful cover with obi. No damage to that. $25 start on Carole King Tapestry. All right. And then we've got Billy Squier, Signs of Life. Billy Squier, also a very, very nice VG+, which are probably, let's take a look at it, probably just superficial cosmetic marks. Once again, side A is great. Side B, just a couple of cosmetic flaws. That's a $25 start as well. There is the LP. There is the Japanese insert. And there's the cover with obi. Very nice. Those are $25 starts. Michael Potts on that. John, I'll show you that Beatles Help that I need help on in just a second. Rat doubled my package. Okay, Gary, thank you. All right. New check condition, vintage arrivals. First one, I don't know what it is. It says SRC, I think. SRC self-titled. VG, $49.99, 1968 Scranton Press. SRC. That's a VG, $49.99. SRC. Black Gold, 24 carats. VG Plus, $19.99. I've listened to this before. Awesome compilation. VG Plus, $19.99. Even has King Floyd Groove Me, which is on Austin Powers. VG Plus, $19.99. Tapestry, $25, $25, $30, $35. Kenneth Jank on Black Gold. I'll go ahead and pull that while I'm reading comments. VG copy, $9.99 of Something Special. Something Special, the best of Tommy James and the Shondells. That's a VG copy, $9.99. Kenneth was first to Black Gold. Stacy was second. Mike Langford gets the SRC album. I don't get that too often, maybe just one other time before. Country Joe and the Fish, Electric Music for the Mind and Body. That's a VG copy, $14.99. Country Joe, one of those Woodstock era artists. Jeff Beck and the Yardbirds, Shapes of Things. That's a VG Plus, $14.99. Jeff Beck and the Yardbirds, Shapes of Things. VG Plus, $14.99. Eric Burden and the Animals. This is in shrink wrap. The Twain Shall Meet. The vinyl is VG, $19.99. Down in Monterey. Sky Pilot, I like that one. VG, $19.99. So you know what we've got into? You know what this is from? This is from the Pennsylvania collection. We've got new stuff from the Pennsylvania collection we hadn't put out. The covers are nice, but the vinyl isn't as nice as a lot of those that we've seen before. So as you can tell, beautiful cover here from that Pennsylvania collection. But there's going to be some that are check condition. Joshua Huffman on Tommy James and the Shondells. That is so to Joshua Huffman. And I don't think Crimson and Clover is on this one. No, you're looking for that. Other. This one's got great music on it, but it's that other one that has Crimson and Clover. Jeff McMaster on PA. Was that a claim or was that for Pennsylvania? Mike Potter, Rage Against the Machine was $29.99, and it is a reissue. We are sold out. We have a waiting list for it. Animals. The Animals was a VG copy, $19.99. Eric Burden and the Animals. Heart Magazine. That's a VG copy, $9.99. Harry Nilsson, Little Touch of Schmilson in the Night. VG Plus, $14.99. High bid on Tapestry, Final Call. Jerry Wallace has that for $35. Chris DiLorenzo, let me know if you're in or out. We're looking for a $25 start. We're looking for a $25 start on Billy Squier. $25 start. It's a VG Plus. Michelle Phillips, First to Heart. Answering my quiz. Thank you. Pennsylvania was the correct answer. Michelle Phillips was first to Heart. Kenneth Jank was second. Chris is back in on Tapestry. The Pure Sound of Purifies. Is that what that says? James and Bobby. That's a VG copy. $9.99. The Pure Sounds of Purifies. James and Bobby. Ted Nugent, Intensities in 10 Cities. VG Plus, $9.99. Intensity in 10 Cities. So Michelle got Heart. Kenneth Jank was second. Chris DiLorenzo's back in on Tapestry at 36. Richard Baker is first to Harry Nilsson. Scott Westskittle wants the Animals. That's sold to Scott. And Wade is in on Bela Squire at 25. Jerry's out on Tapestry. Edgar Winter's White Trash. VG Plus, $14.99. Edgar Winter's White Trash. VG copy, $14.99. Rubber Soul. VG Plus, $39.99. This is a stereo, a 68 stereo copy. 68 stereo copy. Boy, that looks awfully, it's very glossy. Very glossy. That's probably going to sound just fine. Side 1's actually really nice. It's side 2 that has a couple unfortunate scuffs right here. Nice cover. Rubber Soul. Star Trek. Here, 4 exciting all-new action adventures. Star Trek. VG, $19.99. Final call on, I'm going to sell these both at the same time. Final call on Bela Squire, final call on Tapestry. Soundgarden is in. Yes, it will be on this next invoice. Joshua Huffman, first to the Beatles. Joshua first to the Beatles. Elvis Speedway. That's a VG Plus, $19.99. VG Plus, $19.99. Hollywood Press. Elvis Speedway. VG Plus, $19.99. That's a little bit more desirable one. We don't get as often, especially OG presses. Onslaught, Power from Hell. Onslaught is $49.99. It's a VG copy, $49.99. Onslaught, Power from Hell. VG, $49.99. Tanner has arrived. I bet Seth's happy. Do you ever sell album covers that missing? We've got tubs and tubs of empty covers. We kind of keep them for when the same situation. When we get LPs, we need to try to match up. No, I've got some like 13th floor elevator covers. I've got a copy of Easter Everywhere and the Psychedelic Sounds with no records in them. I'm like, oh my gosh, you could imagine my disappointment when I picked up a $600 album and there was no LP in it. I was like, oh my gosh, but we keep those, and just in case we get an LP, even if it's trashed, it will have something. So Mark Cunningham's in on Tapestry at 37. Michael McDowell first on Elvis. Michael McDowell first on Elvis. Shelley second. David Sweevil third. Strength Through American Oi. Uh-oh. There's the famous OI. VG, $34.99. That's from 1997. What is this called? The Revolt. That's the label, I think. Strength Through American Oi. Maybe it's a compilation. Either way, as I expected, it's sold to Mike Massey. Sold to Mike Massey. So let's go ahead and sell Wade Lucas, the Billy Squire, for $25. Only one bid on that for $25. That's sold to you, Wade Lucas. Chris is out on Tapestry. Mark, you're now the high bidder. Looks like you're the solo. I'm going to do a final call on that for $37. Dark Side of the Moon is a VG copy, $34.99. It has one sticker. That's worth $15. And it's a 73 OG Winchester press. The vinyl is how we normally see this album. VG. Well, that looks nice too. Must be side 2. Which side did they wear out? They wore out side 2, it looks like, more so. It has a couple more marks. That is Pink Floyd. It's going to play like a VG, but hey, it has a sticker with it. That's always missing. Jim Engelman on Pink Floyd. Jim Engelman on Pink Floyd. Michael McDowell was second. Dire Straits, EX copy, $29.99 for Dire Straits self-titled. Sultans of Swing. The cover is about VG. The vinyl, though, is not bad at EX. Bob Dylan is an 80s pressing, VG copy, $14.99. This is an 80s reissue of Highway 61 Revisited, $14.99. $14.99. The times, they are a-changing. That's also an 80s reissue, VG Plus, $24.99. VG Plus $24.99 on Bob Dylan. The times they are changing. It has the lyric insert with it. So Dylan and Dylan, those are 80s represses. And Heart, Little Queen, Barracuda, VG copy, $9.99 for Heart, Barracuda. I'll go ahead and show one more before I wrap up Carole King, and that's The Story of the Who, with the pinball machine being exploded. The Story of the Who is a VG copy, $19.99. VG $19.99. Kenneth Jank is First to Heart. Kenneth Jank, First to Heart. I'll go ahead and say that one. Several people next. Since I'm about to end Tapestry, let me go ahead and pull our next two. It looks like we got a couple more check condition to get through before we get into the pristine stuff. I'll go ahead and do these first, especially while we're doing a bin of check condition. Kenneth Jank got Heart, Ron Stoltz second, Ron Duffield third, Rosie Taylor was fourth, and let's go ahead and sell Mark Cunningham Tapestry for $37. Mark Cunningham Tapestry for $37. All right. So we have Dylan. Speaking of Dylan, this is a VG Plus as well. This is a Dylan comp, like a Rolling Stone, all along the Watchtower, Mr. Tambourine Man, blowing in the wind, times they are a-changing. This is also VG Plus, but not a bad copy. Not a bad copy. VG Plus of that. Superficial Marks, $35 start on this one. $35 start. Has the lyric book, has the original anti-static inner sleeve it was stored in. Nice cover, doesn't show much wear at all, really. And Obi, that's a $35 start. Thin Lizzy. These are tough enough to find, much less Japanese pressings. This one's just a tick from what we would call near mint minus, and that is an EX copy. That's an EX copy. Very nice. I mean, maybe a couple very hairline marks right there. That's a $55 start. $55 start for Thin Lizzy, Thunder and Lightning. Thin Lizzy, Thunder and Lightning. $55 start for that. Invoices are still being sent out, Gideon. They are still being sent out. Let's see. I have not shown Collective Soul yet. I do have Mind Crime. It's $49.99, Todd. $49.99. Whatever's Right, Lonnie Mack, VG Plus, $19.99. Lonnie Mack, VG Plus, $19.99. In shrink wrap, Vinyls VG Plus. Queen, A Night at the Opera. Not a bad jacket for the way these normally look. VG copy, $14.99. Queen, A Night at the Opera. Madman Across the Water, VG Plus, $24.99. The OG Elton John Madman Across the Water uni with the gatefold and lyric booklet in the middle. Somebody needs to grab that, $24.99. Gordon Lightfoot, Don Quixote. That's a VG copy, $9.99. And The Romantics, self-titled, VG Plus, $14.99. The Romantics. This has their hit song, What I Like About You, on it. All right, that was our first crate of vintage. There are more coming. I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more crates of vintage. I've got more new vinyl and more Japanese. I'm waiting for bids on these. Patiently waiting for bids. Chip Hall wants The Romantics. That's sold to Chip Hall. And final call, if anybody wants to get in, 35 on Dylan, 55 on Thin Lizzy, or you can wait for the bot now. I encourage you to bid so you don't get missed out on it. Chris is in on Thin Lizzy. Let me go through these one more time. Country Joe is a VG copy, $14.99. Jeff Beck, VG Plus, $14.99. The Pure Sounds of Purified, James and Bobby, VG, $9.99. Queen was a VG copy for $14.99. That's a VG copy for $14.99. Yeah, it looks fine. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Queen was a VG $14.99. Ted Nugent, VG Plus, $19.99. Edgar Winter's White Trash, VG Plus, $14.99. Then we had Star Trek Adventures, VG, $19.99. Onslaught was VG, $49.99. Dire Straits, EX, $29.99. I will have to find it, but put down Todd Tipton for an Operation Mind Crime. And Chip Hall, The Romantics was VG Plus. VG Plus. Bob Dylan, Highway 61 Revisited. Chimes Are A-Changin'. Those are both 80s reissues. VG, $14.99. and VG Plus $24.99. The Story of the Who, VG copy $19.99. Whatever's Right, Lonnie Mack, VG Plus $19.99. Madman Across the Water, VG Plus $24.99. And Gordon Lightfoot, Don Quixote, VG $9.99. Moving on, let me go get a crate of new vinyl. Let me go do that. Let me set that down there, and I think my other crate of new vinyl is over here behind the counter. Over here behind the counter. It is. Let me get that. Final call on Thin Lizzy. Chris has that for $55. No bids yet on Bob Dylan. I'm about to make that a buy now whenever I end Thin Lizzy. Just so everybody knows. Just so everybody knows. All right. If you like the band Savatage, I think you're going to like this crate. I have not run across that yes, Preston. I'm pretty sure that's sold. But if I find it, I will let you know. Bob Dylan bundle for $30. Let me refresh myself on what I had those marked. Let's see here. Josh, I will do $35 if you want those. All you got to do is say yes. Sold. All right, we have the Hall of the Mountain King. And this is on gold vinyl. $54.99. Limited edition heavyweight gold 1LP with an exclusive 7-inch. $54.99. $54.99 for Savatage, the Hall of the Mountain King. George Strait, Oceanfront Property. George Strait is $28.99. Savatage, this one is Poets and Madmen. Poets and Madmen is $54.99. $54.99. Josh Ragland said sold. And sold was $35 for these two Dylans. The Thin Lizzy is at $55, Jared. $55. And that's a final wrap. Okay, so Bob Dylan, $35. Josh Ragland for both of those. Josh Ragland said sold. That was for those. Todd Tipton on Savatage. I'm assuming, Todd, you wanted Hall of the Mountain King, gold vinyl. Let me know if that's right. If so, that's sold to Todd. And then Ken Crooker wants Poets and Madmen. Let me read the details on that. That's a limited edition, glow-in-the-dark 2LP with 16-page booklet and a bonus 7-inch. So that one went to Todd. This one goes to Ken Crooker. Jared, we've already got the bids already at $55. The high bid is Chris DiLorenzo at $55. So I need $56 or more to keep that one going. Top Gun soundtrack, $28.99. Top Gun, $28.99. Danger Zone, Cheap Trick, Lover Boy, and of course Take My Breath Away by Berlin. Here's another Savatage, Edge of Thorns, the final album by legendary and guitarist co-founder Chris Oliva. I used to say Olivia, then I realized there's not another I. I still think I'm saying that wrong though. Oliva, maybe? 2LP, yellow vinyl, 12-page book, 45 RPM. 45 RPM. Jared's at 60 on Thin Lizzy. Jared also wants Poets and Madmen. Oliva, that's it. Oliva, thank you, Ken. Oliva. Savatage, that one there sold to Jared. Jared's also in on that. I'm going to make Dylan a buy it now. If anybody wants this Bob Dylan Hits Comp. This Bob Dylan Hits Comp is a $35 buy it now. Chris is out on Thin Lizzy, so Jared, you have that for $60, and that's a final wrap. Let me slide this in there. Final wrap on that, and Craig Johnson's going to get the Dylan for $35. As soon as I wrap that up, I'll put up two new ones. Pink Floyd Relics. Somebody asked for it the other night, and I did not have it. I've got two more now. Pink Floyd Relics, $34.99. See Emily Play, Arnold Lane, Careful with That Axe, Eugene. The Nile Song from More, $34.99. Pink Floyd Relics. Savatage, Fight for the Rock. This one is $36.99. Single LP, which is black vinyl, $36.99. And Ken Crooker wants that one as well. Ken Crooker wants Fight. I only had one copy of that. Final call. 10 or 15 seconds left on Thin Lizzy. Let me show this. First time I've got to show this live. One of my favorite albums from that classic 70s sound, I call it. Gary Wright, The Dream Weaver. $44.99. It's from Friday Music. It's on yellow vinyl. Gary Wright, The Dream Weaver. On my way here to the shop today, My Love Is Alive came on. Or Love Is Alive came on. What a great song. I didn't know this was in print in any shape or form. Everybody's always wanting. We had a Japanese copy one night that I kept. The OGs, like, they're instantly gone. But last week I had a waiting list. You should, if you commented on the post last week, I've already got you pulled. And on my laptop there was one extra person I hadn't copied over. But that is $44.99. Of course, it has the hit song "Dream," "Let It Out," "Made to Love You." That whole side one is good. That is sold to David Eberly, Gary Wright. And we'll go ahead and sell Thin Lizzy to Jared Benoit for $60. All right, so Gary Wright to David Eberly, Jared Benoit and Thin Lizzy for $60. And I think there's been some people waiting for this. Collective Soul, back in stock, $34.99. Collective Soul, $34.99. What album had seemingly played? That would be on The Piper at the Gates of Dawn. I'm pretty sure, the U.S. version. $34.99 for Collective Soul. We're going to have several people on these. Hope you're ready, Seth. Seth's still tagging. Tanner's over here sending invoices, I think. Or he's keying in something. Collective Soul's been out of stock for quite some time. That one and Hints at Allegations, Things Left Unsaid. While those comments are rolling in, let me put up 2 new Japanese auctions. I've got 2 more EX records, which mean these are like pretty much very close to near mint. This is Fleetwood Mac Rumors. Fleetwood Mac Rumors. This is an EX copy. Let's see what's going on this. EX copy. Not bad looking here on side 1. Probably a couple hairline marks. Very clean looking record. That's a $55 start for Fleetwood Mac Rumors. This is a Japanese pressing. The cover is about VG+, and so is the insert. It does have a couple spots there on it. A little bit of... Some of these are like pure white. Some of them kind of have this beige look to them, and it's not really aging. It's like the way they were made. He's got a couple spots there on his shirt. So that's a $55 start, and so is Queen 2. Here's a really cool one. Also EX, also going to be a $55 start. Very clean copy for what it is. Queen 2. This has the lyric booklet with it. Very nice gatefold with Obi. Nice jacket too. Queen 2, 55. There's 2 great albums. Queen and Fleetwood Mac. Okay, so back up to the top. We had the waiting list for Collective Soul was Jeff McMaster, Stephanie Harder, Gary Samuels, James Rayner, Eric Fisher, Michael Potts, and Paul Brothers. Jeff McMaster, Stephanie Harder, Gary Samuels, James Rayner, Eric Fisher, Michael Potts, and Paul Brothers. We need one for Walt Cruz. We need one for Eli Tomlinson. Also James Cohorn and Stephen Tuttle and Terry Myers. James Cohorn, Stephen Tuttle, Terry Myers. Cameron Martin also on there with Clay Moore. Eric Fisher, I've already got your name down. James Bragg also wants one, and Gary Samuels. And then we have a change in gears right quick. Scott Westskittle wants the Pink Floyd Relics. Let's tag that for Scott. I'll actually put that right there. That's for Scott. Jared needs to put back Poets and Madman. Jerry, you've got one coming on the invoice that are being sent out today. And Sherry Darnell also wants a Collective Soul. So let me read you the hop sticker on that. I didn't even get to tell anybody what it was. Collective Soul is the 25th anniversary edition of the triple platinum selling album, first time on vinyl, featuring the hits December, The World I Know, Where the River Flows, and more. Those are $34.99. I think I showed this the other night and took a waiting list because I knew I was getting 25 copies, and that's what I have left. I've got 2, 4, 6. And Terry Myers also wants a Hints and Allegations. Terry, I've got you one right here. If anybody else wants this one, let me know. We'll sell that to Terry Myers. Hints and Allegations. Poets and Madmen is going back in the crate if anybody wants that from Sabotage. Tommy Green wants this Collective Soul. I'll put that in that stack. So did Tommy Green. Okay, the other Sabotage. I told y'all we had a bunch. Dead Winter's Dead. Dead Winter's Dead is Savage's grand 1995 concept album. 2 LP red vinyl, 16-page book, and tour poster replica. $56.99. Craig Weatherford, also on Collective Soul. If you're commenting Collective Soul, I'm assuming you want the self-titled one, the one we just got in, not the one that Terry got. Another George Strait, Pure Country soundtrack. This is the 25th anniversary limited edition, $33.99. $33.99. Kevin Squires wants a Collective Soul. These were, well, when I back ordered them, when they were not available, they weren't really all that cheap on Discogs. Kevin Squires on a Collective Soul. Wayne Heat wants Poets. That was the one we just put back. We'll give that one to Wayne Heat, which is Poets and Madmen. I'll put that over here in the stack that's not Collective Souls. Chad, some info. Simile Play isn't on LP. Simile Play. Okay. Are you sure about that? Chris DeMoss on George Strait. That's sold to Chris DeMoss. And Terrell Boatnight on George Strait. Jared Benoit on Dead Winter's Dead. Dead Winter's Dead. Discipline Breakdown. I do not have that one. No. There's some more in stock, but I don't think I can get that one. Now, I have 5 of these. Wow. What do we have here? Ooh, I've never had this one, I don't think. I think this is a release. Yeah, I don't know if I've had this one. Gutter Ballet, $44.99. What does we have here? $44.99. 100 gram, 1 LP, 12-page booklet, mastered for vinyl, $44.99. $44.99. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had that one before. Oh, I skipped over one too. Streets. My bad. I was like, why do I have 5 of those? Here's another one. We've got Streets, a rock opera. Streets, a rock opera. That is $58.99. 2 LP blue vinyl, 12-page booklet. $58.99. $58.99. And then Scorpions Love Drive is $33.99. Scorpions Love Drive, $33.99. Okay. Pink Floyd's on Relics, but I thought it was on one of their. I thought that was on one of their original releases, like Simile Play, but or on Popper at the Gates of Dawn, but I guess not. Make sure I get all this in order there. I do not have that Collective Soul, Gutter Ballet. Fleetwood Mac is EX, Japanese EX, that is. Jared Benoit on Gutter Ballet. That's sold to Jared Benoit. And let's see here. Brian C. on Scorpions. Brian C. on Scorpions. What were the details on Hall of the Mountain King? Hall of the Mountain King is gold vinyl. Limited edition collector's edition, heavyweight gold vinyl, single LP, 7-inch, and that is $54.99. If I was not on a waiting list from last week. Okay, Walt Cruz needs a Gary Wright. Walt Cruz on a Gary Wright. All right, I'll lay all those are sold. Walt Cruz on Gary Wright. And Ken Crooker on, we got, let's see, Jared Benoit, he wanted Gutter. He also needs Streets. I had 2 of those, so I know I hadn't pulled one of those yet for Jared. And Ken Crooker wants Hall of the Mountain King. Let me get everybody updated on our auctions. These are both EX, and I will promise you they're very, very clean and nice EX copies. We got Fleetwood Mac Rumors, Obi and inserts, $55 start. Looking for a $55 start. No bid on either one. Queen 2, looking for a $55 start. That's Queen 2. Let's go through that one more time. Anything that's in here, I can get more of. So if I sell out of something, don't be disappointed. We can put you down for a waiting list. I've got George Strait, Oceanfront Property, $28.99. All my exes live in Texas. $28.99. George Strait, Oceanfront Property. Yeah, I figured when I saw those Sabotage, I went to the Sabotage bin, and I was like, you know what? We don't have any Sabotage. And I went and ordered. There's actually one over here. Let me grab it. And probably if I show it, somebody will buy it. And it's the only Sabotage. Yeah, it's this one. Let me go ahead and put it in the crate just in case. It's been here a while, but since we've sold at least one of all the others, here's Power of the Night. Power of the Night is $37.99. That's on clear vinyl with a pop-up cover. Okay, so George Strait is $28.99. If anybody hadn't got an invoice, or if you need an invoice correction, just make sure you have contacted us somehow through Facebook, Messenger, or email. I obviously can't fix them live here right now. Tanner's over here right now working on stuff. Seth is tagging records. And a really cool announcement, we've got a crew in Wisconsin right now buying records. We got Tyler and Paul in Wisconsin right now buying a collection. So I think he's maybe done the deal. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think that they're not on the trailer heading back yet, but we'll see what happens. Maybe that'll work out. Let's see here. Okay, so Sabotage, George Strait. The Top Gun soundtrack, $28.99. Edge of Thorns is $48.99. Edge of Thorns is on yellow vinyl, 2LP gatefold. That's $48.99. Last copy of Pink Floyd Relics. Pink Floyd Relics is a compilation of early stuff that came out in 71. You got to think, Pink Floyd's first album came out or first releases, I think, came out in 66 and 67. So this is like a compilation of those. And some of these may have only been singles. Like I know See Emily Play was for sure on a 45 release. It may have never been on an original studio album. That's maybe why they put it on Relics. Dreamweaver is $44.99. Dreamweaver is $44.99. And then the very popular tonight, Collective Soul. Collective Soul is $34.99. I've got 3 left, and I've got lots of hints and allegations. 3 copies of Collective Soul self-titled. Dead Winter's Dead by Sabotage, $56.99. Streets, a rock opera, $58.99. And Gutter Ballet is $44.99. Brent McKinney and Bob Riger on Collective Soul. And those we now have 1 left. Jerry, yes, you should have a Gary Wright coming on your most current invoice. I tell you what, let me go ahead and pull 2. 1 for you just in case and 1 for me. And now we have 1 Gary Wright. We'll have 2 left if Jerry already has 1, but I'm pretty sure he does. Jerry Stone, see if he has 1 on his invoice. Tanner's got those pulled up right now. He already has 1. Okay, so we do have 2 Gary Wrights. I've got a Japanese copy that sounds incredible. I don't know how that Japanese copy could beat this, but I'm always willing, for some of my favorite albums, I'm always willing to experiment. So I think I'll keep 1 of those. Unless we do need it tonight, then I'll sell it to somebody. Michael McDowell on George Strait, Oceanfront Property. That's sold to Michael McDowell. Craig Preston's going to get the last. Craig Preston's going to get the last Collective Soul. That's sold to Greg Preston. I've already shown Evil Empire. John, we have a waiting list for that now. Evil Empire is $34.99 or $29.99. That's a waiting list. Chip Hall and Gary Wright. Now we have 1, technically 2 left if we need them. Okay, let's make these buy it nows. Fleetwood Mac, who wants it for $55? Maybe Peter Policino. Not a bad copy. Japanese press of Fleetwood Mac Rumors. These, when they're absolutely pristine, we've auctioned them as much as $75 and $85. I can bet you on that one. This one about a VG Plus cover and EX vinyl. That is a $55 buy it now. And so hard to find U.S. copies of this. We have Queen 2, Queen with Obi, and that is Queen is also a $55 buy it now for those Queen collectors out there. Always cool. You know, if I'm going to collect the band, I get pretty serious, like with Zeppelin or the Beatles or, Rush. I start collecting different country releases. You can really get into a rabbit hole, but it's fun to look for them. It's a lot of stuff that comes up too often. If anybody wants on the waiting list for Evil Empire, let me know. There'll be more in later this week. Jamie Sperlin wants on the George Strait Pure Country waiting list. And David Tate's going to go ahead and take the Queen 2 for $55. Does Rumors have the booklet and insert? I believe it does. It has this insert. It has this insert. And I don't know for sure if this is a different pressing that didn't have a book or if it's just missing. But it does have an insert. Jared Benoit, you were second on Queen. That's already sold to David Tate. And Axel Horn on the Evil Empire waiting list. Let's go through a bin of new vintage stuff. We have 7 crates left. Let me see if I can find another crate of check condition. If I can... Oh, here's those Smiths albums. Let me go ahead and put those up. I know some people are waiting on these. Well, I don't have any pressing information. That's unfortunate. I'll just show you what it is, and we'll put it up for bid. We have the Smiths, self-titled. This is going to be a $65 start. Has the original inner sleeve. That's a good start. These are not like 180-gram reissues. I can promise you that. Won't be able to tell you right off the bat. Well, these are nice copies, though, if they're like first presses. But I'm telling you, they're starting to look that way. Rough trade. The dead wax says rough 61-B3 or BB. I think B3. This is a $65 start, and the vinyl on this is near mint minus. That's a beautiful copy. Has the original inner sleeve. Let me see if it's a club. Distributed through the cartel. Well, it's a cartel press. It's a cartel edition. There's nothing about club on there. Let me look at the label again. Let me look at this side. I don't think this is, though. Let's see. Rough Trade, 1984 copyright. Produced by John Porter, Morrissey. I'm not seeing anything to me that would classify this being a club pressing. Doesn't look like it. No, this looks like it's a OG. Cover is about VG Plus. It has one crease right here. A little bit of wear, but that's not very bad whatsoever. $65 start on that. I will pair that with another Japanese record. We have our last check condition, I think, Japanese pressing. The only thing that hadn't sold is Fleetwood Mac Rumors. Cheap Trick is an EX copy. $35 start for Cheap Trick. This is an EX copy, and that's very nice, glossy, just a couple superficial marks on that, it looks like. There's the original anti-static inner sleeve. There is the lyric insert, and there's the cover with Obi. And that's Cheap Trick self-titled debut LP, $35 start on that. All right, let me go through another bin of check condition stuff we have here. Let me find that. Let me see what's all in here. Ooh. Well, we always put these up for auction. Maybe, let's see. Maybe, I'll just leave it in there. We already got 2 auctions up. We got a lot to get through tonight. All right. This looks like a cool bin of check condition stuff, as usual. Bob Riger on that Evil Empire waiting list. So is Joe Maynard and Axel Horn. So 3 more names going on there. We got a bid on Cheap Trick, and we're looking for a $65 start on the Smiths. $65 start. Very clean copy. And let's go ahead and show these. We have Forms and Feelings, Love Sculpture. Forms and Feelings is an EX copy, $24.99. Love Sculpture, Forms and Feelings, EX, $24.99. Hank Williams, In the Beginning. That's a cool cover. Never seen that before. $19.99. Let me see if this is check condition or if it got mixed in the wrong crate. This is not a check condition LP. That is near mint minus. That's a very nice copy. Hank Williams, In the Beginning. John Lee Hooker, $19.99. The top cover seam is split. No, maybe not all these are check condition. Actually, not all of them are check condition. This is going to be a mixed crate. John Lee Hooker is $19.99. No condition notes on the vinyl, but the cover is VG minus or worse maybe. The entire top seam is split. We do have a bid on the Smiths at $65, and Cheap Trick is at $40 with John Humphrey now. Chris DeMoss is first to John Lee Hooker. Kenny and the Casuals, No Exit. This is sealed. Sealed Power Pop, $19.99. $19.99, Kenny and the Casuals, No Exit. Jethro Tull, War Child, $19.99 for Jethro Tull, War Child, about a VG Plus cover. Bungle in the Jungle. John Lennon, EX, $39.99. This is a 1970 USOG with the original inner sleeve. Not a bad cover. Vinyl's EX, $39.99 for plastic Ono band. I may have said live piece. Derek and the Dominoes, original U.S. label, EX vinyl, $39.99. Original Atco pressing, or label, I guess we should say. I think there's a lot of different pressings of this. Original label, $39.99. Final call on the Smiths. Axel has that for $65. If you want to bid, we don't get a lot of stuff in that says the Smiths on it. And then John Humphreys at $40 on Cheap Trick. Brian C., let me know if you're in or out before I end that one. Eric Clapton, No Reason to Cry, $34.99. Eric Clapton, No Reason to Cry. No condition notes on that one. I'm Ready, Muddy Waters, $39.99. 1978 Terre Haute, Muddy Waters, I'm Ready, $39.99. Edward Star Wars is at $67 on the Smiths. Brian's out on Cheap Trick. So final call on that. Do you have any Gary Wright on yellow vinyl? I have one, technically 2 copies left. I do have 1 copy left in the bin. I got the copy I was keeping, but I said I would sell it if anybody wanted it. Hank Williams, Volume 2, sings 36 more of his greatest hits. This comes in like a box. That is $39.99. $39.99 complete. Complete. Must come with a booklet or something. $39.99. We have Marty Wilson Piper on the tip of my tongue. Marty Wilson Piper, and that is a sealed promo, $11.99. Doc Smith, the Muddy Waters is $39.99. I'm ready. $39.99. Cheap Trick. Let me go ahead and say that sold to John Humphrey for $40. $40 on that. And Hank is sold to Jeff Johnson, and Doc Smith wants Muddy Waters. So those are sold. 40 on Cheap Trick. Hank is sold to Jeff Johnson, and we've got Muddy Waters sold to Doc Smith. Let me give everybody the matrix on the Smiths before we go any further. I, myself, do not know. Just got kind of handed to me about an hour before the show. Rough Trade. It's on the Rough Trade label. We have Rough. Here's the Dead Wax. Rough 61B3. And I figured Rough Trade would be the OG label. That's just my... is this... Let's see here. Is there anything else in the Dead Wax? I don't see anything else. Yeah. I mean, just me looking at it, of course, I don't have Discogs memorized in my head, but just by the label, is it UK? I didn't see anything on it that said UK. Let me see what's going on here. Unauthorized performance. Well, you know what? It's weird. I guess it is, but I don't see any note of any country on here. Oh, there's one more marking right here. It says film. What's that say right there? Well, that's hard to make out. I can't read that. There's one more word in the Dead Wax, but it's really hard to make out. Let's see if this side has anything else. Rough 61B3. Let me see if that same marking is over here. No. Kind of not a textured, but you know. Okay, it's UK. I think we've determined that's a UK pressing. A first UK pressing? Can we call it a first UK pressing? It looks like it is. I mean, but let's just make sure on that before I say it is a first UK pressing. All right, let me go back up to the top. We had a few sales there, the Japanese, Hank, and then Muddy Waters. Matt Biggs wants Derek and the Dominoes. That's sold to Matt Biggs, Derek and the Dominoes. Nick Bagron, the Clapton was $34.99. First UK press. The Smiths is at 70. The Smiths is at 75. And how did I determine to start at 65? Well, John has a sticker price on the back. And I usually look at that sticker price and I start it for less. That's how I determine all of our starting prices on auctions. There's been some stuff he's marked $299.99 and I've started them at $300. And there's been some stuff marked for $55 that I start for $5. Just whichever. But we price everything. And then when I put something up for auction, I'm usually starting it below sticker. And it usually sells for the sticker anyway. So Axel's at 85 on the Smiths. And John Ambrosic said he will take a Gary Wright. There is one. And we'll sell that to John Ambrosic. Okay. We have Danny Johnson and the Bandits. Danny Johnson and the Bandits, $14.99. Danny Johnson and the Bandits. Lincoln Magora and the Distinguished Colleagues, Volume 3. This is $9.99, Lincoln, Magora, and the Distinguishing Colleagues. Silver meter is EX $24.99, Heavy Psych. Heavy Psych, EX $24.99. Joe Zanelli on Marty. That was the Marty Wilson Piper that was sealed. That's sold to Joe Zanelli. High bid on the Smiths is 85. Let me go ahead and get another auction started. Ooh, this one looks cool, especially if it's near mint. Looks like it is. Night Ranger, Midnight Madness, $45 start. $45 start. This is in shrink wrap, near mint, and I can finally say it, near mint and pristine. There is the lyric insert, covers in shrink wrap with Obi, and that's a $45 start, Night Ranger. The Smiths cover, sure thing. The cover, I graded the vinyl EX Plus near mint minus. It looked very, very nice. The cover is about VG Plus. Like I said, it has one crease here. Everything else is A-OK, it looks like. One little ding there. Little bit of a blip there. Light wear shown on the back. A little bit easier to show because of that burgundy looking color. It does say on the back, distributed through the cartel. So, Edward Star Wars is at 90 on that. And we have another Smiths record to auction off later. The Siegel Schwarl Band, that is $9.99. What's that say? Let me check the label on this one. Chris Spedding. Looks like speeding, but I don't think it is. 1976 UK import, $14.99. Music. Produced by Eddie Kramer, $14.99. Music. Produced by Eddie Kramer, $14.99. The Smiths is at 90 with Edward Star Wars, looking for a $45 start on Night Ranger. Levon Helm, the RCO All-Stars, that's $19.99. Levon Helm. This is $9.99. Pump Up the Volume. Mars, M-A-R-R-S. Pump Up the Volume, $9.99. The Recording Workshop, $9.99. Advanced Workshop, summer of 1981. Interesting. Joe Zanelli on Mars. James Bragg wants the Psych. That's Silver Meter, the Heavy Psych. That's sold to James Bragg, Craig Rutherford second, Kenneth Jank third. The Cult, $12.99. This is Eddie, Chow Baby, and Medicine Train. Love Removal Machine Live. 1989 UK import, $12.99. Kiss is EX, $34.99. $34.99. This is a 1977 label. Hotter Than Hell, 77. Boy, that's nice for EX, $34.99. Cobra, Step Aside. Cobra is $9.99. And Stone. That looks like something interesting. Stone is $24.99. That's a 1988 release, and that is in the genre of metal. $24.99. Let's see. Mars was Joe Zanelli, then Craig Rutherford, then Kenneth Jank, Sean Furman. Let's do Robert Johnson first on the Cult. Chip Hall was second. Craig Thomas third. And the Smiths is on its final call. Edward Star Wars has this for 90. Final call. I think Paul wants to see the labels one more time. They're kind of grayish, and it kind of the color matched the cover. Jeff McMaster is at 91. New bidder. Jeff McMaster is at 91. Okay, what was the second to last? That was Cobra Step Aside. Cobra Step Aside, $9.99, and then we had Stone. And then the comp, the Recording Workshop, that is Menlo. These are, I think, the name of the artist. Menlo Park, Pure Jam, and the Vices. Menlo Park, the Vices, and Pure Jam, $9.99. Let me run through those one more time. New vintage arrivals, check condition, and then I'll grab another crate of, do I have more new vinyl, possibly? That's sold to James Bragg. He said I'll take the Heavy Psych. Okay, Colt is sold, And let's run through these one more time very quickly. Forms and Feelings, The Love Sculpture, EX $24.99. Hank Williams, In the Beginning, $19.99. Kenny and the Casuals, No Exit, Power Pop Sealed, $19.99. Jethro Tull, War Child, $19.99. John Lennon, 1970 USOG with original inner sleeve, EX $39.99. Eric Clapton, No Reason to Cry, that was $34.99. The Hotter Than Hell, really surprised no one got it, EX copy, $34.99, that's pressed in 1977. Danny Johnson and the Bandits, $14.99. Leon Magoria and the Distinguished Colleagues, Volume 3, $9.99. Siegel Schwarl Band, $9.99. Chris Spedding, $14.99, 76 UK import. Chip Hall says he'll take the Hotter Than Hell. That's so to Chip Hall. Landon Woodruff on Recording Workshop. Landon, if you're a first-time customer, please message our page. I don't know if you've bought from us before. I don't recall saying your name too many times. So thank you and welcome. Make sure you message our page. Good time to be buying because it's the first sale of the week. We're having sales pretty much all week. $7 unlimited shipping, and then we invoice you on Sunday or Monday. And a lot of people, Monday by 5 o'clock, they're still asking for their invoice. We're usually still sending them. So expect your invoices, if you're lucky, Sunday. If the first letter of your first name is high in the alphabet, then you can expect that Monday evening, sometimes maybe even Monday night. So we have music, $14.99, produced by Eddie Kramer, who was worked with Jimi Hendrix. Levon Helm, $19.99. Levon Helm of the band. Cobra was $9.99, and the Stone is $24.99. All right, final call on the Smiths. The Smiths is at, Jeff was in first. No, Edward came back in. So I need to know from Jeff or Axel if you're in or out, because you have not said. And Edward Star Wars is at 94. 80 Star Wars is at 94. Doc, those two I'm going to keep at sticker price. Unless you're wanting to buy both of them for a couple dollars off, then I will consider it. But those, usually new arrivals that's in the $10 range, I keep at sticker price. All right, let's go through this crate right here. This one looks awfully interesting. Let's go through this crate here. It looks awfully interesting. Let me go ahead and pull, let me see what else was in here. I think that other Smith's record was, he told me it was in this bin. Yep, these two and the Beatles. That. All right. Make sure. Okay, I might have to pull a couple more things out of here. John, actually, John got in. I took a crate to the back of stuff that I was supposed to go through. It was returns that we've already refunded, like defective new pressings. And it was stuff that I think I was just like, people had asked me to pull, like for trades. And he accidentally got into that crate and tore it all to heck. Meaning I'm trying to still find stuff that was in there. So I'm trying to figure out what, I may come across a record tonight and I'm like, that's not even mine. There's some stuff in here that got dropped off. We don't allow drop-offs unless you like approve it through me or we know, but a lot of people like bring in a record and they're like, hey, can Chad check this out? And then I have no idea about it, and then we misplace it and we find it 8 months later. So that's what happens. So if you're ever going to drop something off, make sure you let me know ahead of time or message the page, because I think we've got some records over here that are not even ours that he accidentally priced. So, but that's my fault for taking that crate. I set a crate of like stuff like that back there, and now it is like, it's everywhere. He spreads them out, so they're everywhere. Okay, they're still bidding on the Smiths. The Smiths is at 97 with Edward Star Wars. And if anybody wants Night Ranger, this is a $45 buy it now. Night Ranger is a $45 buy it now. $45 buy it now for Night Ranger Midnight Madness. And Paul Brothers, the Japanese Rumors is an EX copy. It's an EX copy for a $55 buy it now. That's the only one that had not sold. And Night Ranger. And Night Ranger is a $45 buy it now. All right, so Smith's is still being auctioned. I will pull out one of these. So we ran across a batch of sealed Beatles records, and we're thinking these are, we don't really know exactly what pressings. This is sealed, okay? It's stereo. It has a punch hole. It's a gatefold. And if anybody else needs any other information, let me know. But I figured any kind of sealed Beatles, whether it is, I don't think it's 64 or 65 probably, late 60s, early 70s, I figured it was worthy of a $55 start. And John, our John also said Apple. I've got a note on the back. He says most likely, or he put Apple question mark. So it's probably an Apple reissue, but still, it's sealed. I mean, look how nice, too. No tears in the shrink. $55 start. The Beatles help. It does have a punch hole. $55 start. The Beatles help. Gatefold. Very nice. $55 start on the Beatles help. Let's see. Let me go back up to the top here. I have not shown Jackie Millane yet. It's $600 though. I'll show it in just a second. So everybody can be preparing if you actually want to buy it or not. The Smiths is $99. The Smiths is $100. Paul Brothers wants the Rumors. Rumors LP sold to Paul Brothers for $55. Night Ranger is a $45 buy now. It is near mint and pristine. Everything. Cover, shrink wrap, insert, and vinyl. Okay. Let's see. Beatles, sealed Beatles, $55 start. No one has set out on Smiths yet. They're really they're really rubbing their hands together on this one. Smiths is at $100. Let's go through a bin of new vintage arrivals. Class of 62, the golden days of rock and roll. 75 favorites from 58 to 62. That is $29.99. Class of 62. Those are all songs from 1962. The Beatles 6. This looks like it came from the same batch, but they got opened. And this is $29.99. This is $29.99. The Beatles 6, $29.99. That's in shrink wrap. Fred Carnell, I'm going to sell you Night Ranger for $40. Sell that to Fred Carnell for $40. Ivan's at $56 on the Beatles, and John Young wants the Beatles 6. That is like, it looks like it was open and just played. It looks like if somebody had just opened Help here and played it once. That's so did John Young. And then, Doc, let me bring those two records out you were asking about. Doc, if you want these two, which is, I'll sell them to you for $18. That's Lincoln Magoya, or Lincoln Magora, and the Distinguished Colleagues and Cobra, Step Aside. I'll sell you both of those, Doc, for $18 if you want them. All right. Class of 56. We have Poco, or Class of 62. Poco Legend. Poco is $9.99. Roy Buchanan, A Street Called Straight. Roy Buchanan is $14.99. $14.99. And Ivan is bidding on the Beatles, John. He's bid $56 on the Beatles. I've got you for Beatles 6. I don't think he claimed it unless you want it. And sell these to Doc for $9 and $9. Sell those to Doc Smith for $9 and $9. Those two there. So let me know on that. And let's see. Smith's is at $105. John said, okay, so I'm assuming you want to keep it. And with that, he's going to bid on Help at $57. And Poco is $9.99. Jeff McMaster says, you know what? I'm back in. Smith's $105. Poco Legend. Rich Group, this record couldn't get any nicer. That record could not get any nicer. $9.99. Ozzy, $64.99. Diary of a Madman. Ozzy, original inner sleeve, $64.99. Diary of a Madman, $64.99. Ozzy Osbourne, Diary of a Madman, $64.99. $19.99. Johnny Cash, Greatest Hits Volume 1, $19.99. Jackson, Ring of Fire, I Walk the Line, Original Columbia 2i, $19.99. Poco, Picking Up the Pieces. First album, $19.99. Flip open cover. I think this is 68 or 69. $9.99 on Poco. And Eastbound and Down, Jerry Reed. Eastbound and Down, $14.99 for Jerry Reed. Okay, Edwards out on the Smiths. I think Axl's out too. So that leaves Jeff McMaster at 105, going once, going twice. The Beatles Help, 57, 60, 62. John has it for 62. Rich Group says he'll take the Poco. That's sold to Rich Group. Craig Johnson wants the Johnny Cash. And Dennis Nelson on the Jerry Reed, Eastbound and Down. The Aussie is an OG. It's a very clean copy of Diary of a Madman. That is $64.99. It's got the original inner sleeve. Very nice vinyl. $64.99. USOG. Diary of a Madman. Ozzy Osbourne. Calvin, if you don't want it, Brenda Medina does. Okay, we have the Beatles Help at 62. Final Call on the Smiths, and then I'll put up new auctions. Brent McKinney needs to put back the Police he got earlier tonight. Calvin says he'll take the Aussie, so Brenda, you were second. Violent Femmes, $34.99. Violent Femmes 3, $34.99. It's going to auction that. It's already sold. Mike Massey, Violent Femmes, $34.99. Jerry Reed, Tupelo, Mississippi, $14.99. $14.99. Jerry Reed, Tupelo, Mississippi Flash. I've never seen that one before. Ivan's back in on the Beatles at 65. Paul Simon, Still Crazy after all these years, $19.99. Boz Scaggs, Silk Degrees, $19.99. Boz Scaggs, Silk Degrees. Gerald Wilson, Big Band. Gerald Wilson is $14.99. Gerald Wilson, Big Band, $14.99. Mary Lou Williams, The History of Jazz. That is sealed, $49.99. Never opened. Mary Lou Williams, The History of Jazz, $49.99. Mike was first to the Violent Femmes. Ivan's at 65 on the Beatles. Paul Gill was first to this Jerry Reed. That's sold to Paul Gill. Doc Smith on the Gerald Wilson. That's sold to Doc Smith. And we're going to go ahead and call the Smiths sold for $105 to Jeff McMaster. Jeff McMaster got the Smiths self-titled for $105. Ivan's at 65 on the Beatles. John Young, if you decide you're out, let me know. We have the Smiths Rank. The Smiths Rank. And this is a $55 start. Boy, this looks nice. I've never seen this one. $55 start, the Smiths Rank. This is one of those I'm afraid to touch it. It's so glossy. This is absolutely near mint. It does have a saw mark. It is a cutout or a saw mark. This is like beautiful though. $55 start, the Smiths Rank. Jazz McLean. It's coming up. I think I've already told the price, which is 3 digits, and it's more than 500. So I hope that you have some magic too. Boz Scaggs, Down Two Then Left, $19.99. This is the Moody Blues, $19.99. This is the Moody Blues, $19.99. Emerson, Lake and Palmer Works. Emerson, Lake and Palmer is $34.99. Emerson, Lake and Palmer Works, $34.99. Another Aussie, in shrink wrap, 81 Terre Haute, $64.99. Wow, what a nice copy. Aussie Blizzard of Oz, $64.99. That one's in shrink wrap, $64.99. The Sweet Inspirations, What the World Needs Now is Love, $19.99. Let me go back up to the top here. John Young's out on Help. Ivan has the sealed copy of Help for $65, going twice, going 3 times. The Smiths does have a barcode on the back. The Smiths does have a barcode on the back. It's a cutout. Tony's at $55 on that. Stephen, the Poco's already sold. Poco with a horse is sold. Calvin Ward, first to Ozzy. Calvin's first to Ozzy. And let's see. And okay. Yeah, I'm going to put the Jackie up for auction. You know, that was my plans. But I'm going to start it at what I think it should bring, what I think it's truly worth based on my sales history research or what Paul researched it at. But yeah, it's a rare jazz album. Rare jazz. The best of Loggins and Messina, $9.99. The best. If you want some true first press, mono, prestige, blue note jazz records and high grade, they get up into the hundreds, if not thousands. They get expensive. Emerson, Lake and Palmer is $19.99. Emerson, Lake and Palmer Trilogy, $19.99. Three Dog Night, Cyan, has the hype sticker on the back with the track listing. It's a white label promo, $24.99. White label promo, $24.99. $24.99. Todd Rundgren, The Wizard. A Wizard, a True Star. Todd is $19.99. Let's see here. Smith's is at 60. Smith's is at 70. Smith's is at 75. Harry Nilsson, Schmilson is $19.99. John Humphrey on Three Dog Night. I definitely sold the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Preston, the Yeah Yeah Yeahs is sold. Carlos Santana with Buddy Miles live, $19.99. Carlos Santana and Buddy Miles live. Uriah Heep, Sweet Freedom, $19.99. Blues conducts Zappa, The Perfect Stranger, $39.99. Interesting. The Blue Note 50th Anniversary Sampler, $14.99. Blue Note 50th Anniversary Sampler. And Grover Washington Jr. Wine Light, sealed, $24.99. Sealed. All right, let's go ahead and sell the Beatles. That is sold to Ivan for $65. We'll be very careful with that. That's sold to Ivan for $65. Make sure I didn't miss anything on the Smiths. Wait a second. There is actually two things, because I've already called Three Dog Night, and that was already above that. Help was at 66 with Jeff McMaster, and then even before that, Rob asked a question about it. Time out. There was a bid and a question. Sorry, Ivan, let me go back to that. The question was, does the Beatles have a barcode? No barcode for sure. No barcode, and can you see the country? No. We determined this is probably a, late 60s, early 70s pressing. This is a late 60s, early 70s pressing by Apple. That is ballpark on that one. You really don't know till you open it, but that is like a 90% chance. Jeff is at 66. Then I've already pulled John Humphrey's Three Dog Night. And then Chris DeMoss on Blue Note. Chris DeMoss on Blue Note. The Buddy Miles and Santana was $19.99. Stacy Metternich, you were second on the sampler. Does the Wizard have the booklet poem by Patti Smith inside? Let's see. Poem and booklet by Patti Smith inside. Never heard that asked before. Didn't know that came with it. I don't see anything in the gatefold. I don't see anything in the pocket except the original inner sleeve, which is also die cut. But we'll see what happens. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Beatles is at 70. On the cover you see capital. Yes, but they're all, the Apple pressings are marked capital too. They say capital, but they're Apple. You can have, they never did mark these with Apple logos. If you find a Beatles Help that has an apple on the front, then that is something extraordinarily overly rare. Smith's is at 75 of Edward Star Wars. Edward Star Wars is at 75 on the Smiths. Okay, let's go through that crate one more time because I think there's a few things left behind. I need to do a final call on the Smiths rank once again. Not a lot of people said out, so I'm not trying to sell it too fast. Just like Help, I thought everybody was done, and then a bid came in, which, by the way, Help is at $70 with Ivan, and Tony's back in on the Smiths at 78. The police that was put back was a new and sealed copy. Here they are right here. The police synchronicity was $31.99. The police synchronicity is $31.99. That was new and sealed. I'll put that over here with new vinyl that hadn't sold. Let's see. Okay, so new bid on the Smiths, and Jeff McMaster, let me know if you're in or out on help. It's up to you. If Jeff says out, I'm selling it. So if you want to bid, you better bid now. If Jeff says out, it's sold to Ivan for 70. Or Jeff can bid again. Class of 62, 75 tracks, $29.99. Feels like 4 or 5 LPs, has to be. Roy Buchanan, A Street Called Straight, $14.99. Poco, Picking Up the Pieces. That Poco is $9.99. Paul Simon, Still Crazy After All These Years, $19.99. Boz Scaggs, Silk Degrees, $19.99. Mary Lou Williams, The History of Jazz, $49.99. That is sealed. Mary Lou Williams, History of Jazz, that's sealed. Boz Scaggs, Down to Then Left, $19.99. Even the whole, it would be promo in the upper right corner. There you go. I'm going to save that information because we've got 2 more sealed ones to auction off. I've got 2 more sealed Beatles just like this to auction off, by the way. So Jeff and Ivan and John and anybody else interested, let me know. Who was backup bidder on the Smiths? Arm Lazelle. Let me know if you're in or out on the Smiths. This is the Moody Blues. That's a 2 LP compilation, $19.99. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, $34.99. The Sweet Inspiration, $14.99. The Best of Loggins and Messina, $9.99. Emerson, Lake and Palmer Trilogy, $19.99. Harry Nilsson is $19.99. Buddy Miles and Santana Live, $19.99. Uriah Heep's Sweet Freedom. Boulez Conduct Zappa. Grover Washington Jr., somebody asked about this. It is sealed. It's not been opened, $24.99. $24.99. And Todd Rundgren was $19.99. Who asked about Grover Washington? I missed that earlier. Romelu Grover Washington is sealed, $24.99. Wasn't me, I asked about the police. Okay, and can I see the labels on rank? Was that something that's in here? Rank. What is that? Okay, Smith 78, final call. Help is at 80, final call. And Armazel, what was rank? Jeff's out on help. And let's see. Oh, that's the name of the Smiths album. My bad. I'm looking for something in the crate. Sorry, there's the label. Rough Trade Sire, Smith's rank, Near Mint minus. Tony Shores at 82 does have a cutout, glossy cover, gatefold, very nice. Tony Shores at 82. The Beatles Help is sold to Ivan for $70. Ivan Villavenicio gets the Beatles Help for $80. For $80. $80. Let's see. And okay. Alice Lowry on Nielsen. Did I miss anything else in here? The Smiths. Next time I sell a Smiths record, I'm going to have an entire document of information ready for you. This is sold to Alice Lowry, Harry Nilsson. I think that was the only one in here. Anytime I sell a Smiths record, man, there's a lot of, there must be a ton of different pressings. I don't get a chance to look a lot of these up. That's what John and Paul does for us. So I'll tell them, next time we sell a Smiths record, we need to type out a Word document of everything about it. Who touched it, where it was made. There's a lot of, I mean, every time I sell one, there's a ton of questions about Smiths albums. Everybody's going, what it is they're going to Discogs, they're looking at all the different pressings, and if you do that, that's going to blow your mind. It's just like if you try to look up the Beatles Help. The Beatles Help, there's probably what? From the first UK release to the most recent remasters, 100 different ones. And that's why it's sometimes a mind trick to figure out what you have. Yeah, and everybody wants the true first off the stampers. They want the one that was stamped. They want the one that was first stamped. So, Michael Potts wants the Grover Washington Jr. We'll make sure Romelu wants that. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry that we didn't put anything. Usually we've been marking all these with what they are. I don't know why we omitted that one. I will tell John to next time, if a Smith's record, we tell what it is. I will make sure. I'm going to be like, John, listen, if we put out a Smith's record, it was that way for a while with Talking Heads. Like, we needed to know the matrix, the label. I'm going to have to get him a computer and be like, just go ahead and type everything out where I can read it clearly, and so we can read all that off. Levon Helm is sold for $17 to Paul Gill. $17 to Paul Gill. Okay. Yeah, some people don't even want first pressings. They want test pressings. They want the ones that were made before they were even made. Whatever floats your boat. Okay, speaking of something I have information on, I do have information on this one. This is a Deep Groove Mono first press of Jackie McLean 456. This is a $500 start. $500 start. Jackie McLean Quartet 456. This, being a Deep Groove Mono, it sounds amazing. If you first looked at it, it would be a VG Plus. It sounds better than that. It sounds better than that. 456 Jackie McLean. That is, so it's going to play probably EX. You know, these Deep Groove Monos, I think y'all know what I'm referring to. A VG Plus, I think a VG Plus did sell for $600 on Discogs. Jackie McLean 456. Nice cover. And a VG Plus on Discogs did sell for $600. I don't know when that was, but one did sell for $600. Not a bad cover. I mean, no splits like you usually see on these. It's got a corndine, but boy, that's incredible. That was a nice find for us in the back. I don't know where that came from, but it was back there. Okay, I'm going to update everybody on the Smiths because I think everybody's out. Edward Star Wars has the Smiths for $80. That's the Smiths rank. Edward has that for $80. Final call. Doc Smith is in at $500 on Jackie McLean. Let me grab a crate of new arrivals. Where's that one with the... Let me see what we got in here. That is Michael Potts. That's Michael Potts. Let me see what we have in here. Is this... oh yeah, let me make sure there was nothing in that crate that... Wow. An original Public Enemy. It's check condition, but wow. I don't know where that came from. This is another crate of check condition stuff, and it's a pretty good mix. This crate will probably be pretty... I hope that it's empty. We'll find out. We'll find out, though. Okay, Smith's is at 82. Edwards at 520 on Jackie McLean. Edwards at 520. Edwards has been waiting for that to come up. And Tony Shore's at 82 on the Smiths. And Edwards at 85. No barcode information on the Smiths. The barcode, I mean, I can read it to you if you're ready to copy it down. 07599-257-8615. Or you can screenshot your monitor right now or phone, whatever you're on. 07599-257-8615. Has anybody looked this one up, figure out what pressing it is? I think people are still trying to, that's how complicated I think some of these are. I think there's people still trying to figure out what we have here. We have 125786-A-SR2. Jack McLean is a first OG mono press. 100%. We double checked that one 7 times. That is Edward Marticello. Edward's at 520. Edward, I don't know if I'm saying your last name right or not, but he's at 520. Okay, we have the Humpty Dance, the Digital Underground, VG copy, $14.99. If you like hip-hop, we got some hip-hop singles we found. We found some hip-hop albums. and we got some really cool singles like The Humpty Dance by the Digital Underground. That's a VG copy, $14.99. That's sold to Alan Hevelone. Doc Smith is at $530 on Jackie McLean. The Smiths is now at $85, but I think we got 5 people still trying to look up the pressing information. Even though I think it's I know it's a U.S. pressing. I just don't know which one it is. Okay, Alan got the Humpty Dance. Axel was second. Robin Pruitt third. Edwards at $550 on Jackie. Robin fourth. Tony Shore's at $88 on the Smiths. Okay. Credence, Clearwater Revival, Bayou Country. Boy, this feels heavy. VG Plus $24.99. Blue Fantasy Label, VG Plus $24.99. The Who Sellout is a VG Plus $14.99. The Who Sellout is a Decca pressing OG or first label. Let me repeat that. Let me rephrase that. First label, VG Plus $14.99. More music from The Man from U.N.C.L.E. VG Plus $14.99. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. $14.99. Split Ends. Waiata? Something like that. VG Plus $9.99. The Best of Freddie King. VG Plus $21.99. That's a 75 US press. The Best of Freddie King. VG Plus $21.99. Master Ace Incorporated. No, the Ink Ride EX $14.99. 1995 DJ promo, and this cover is absolutely wrecked on the back. EX on the vinyl, $14.99. Master Ace Incorporated. It's Incosposated. Looks like Z's. That's sold to Jeff McMaster. Before that, let me do these in order. Hold on a second. We had the Humpty Dance. 88 on Tony Shore with the Smiths. Doc is out on Jackie McLean, so Edward has that for 55. Edward has that for 55, going one, or excuse me, 550. That's going once, going twice. Edward Star Wars on The Who. Edward Star Wars on The Who. That was The Who sellout. Tracks on CCR. Tracks on Credence Clearwater Revival. That is, did Craig just post up? I thought I saw something just post up. That's Born on the Bayou, Bootleg, Graveyard Train, Good Golly, Miss Molly, Penthouse Popper, Proud Mary, and Keep on Chugling. I would normally say Craig will post those, but I had it already in my hand. Jeff McMaster on Master. Jeff McMaster gets the Master. That was next. And Axel Horn wants Born on the Bayou. If Tracy doesn't, Tracy says, I'll take it. That's so to Tracy Tommen. Okay. All right. I'm going to have to do a final call on the Smiths. I think it's been up since 8:30, and it's almost 9. The Smiths is at $85 to Edward Star Wars. Tony's at $88. $88 to Tony Shore. I've got to give that. If no one bids and my phone strikes 9 o'clock, I've got to sell it. That's 60 seconds. This has been up for a half hour. Jackie McLean, we got a new buyer and a new bidder as the high bid on this. $550. Edward Marchicello. Edward has this for $550. I have a good feeling Edward's going to pay for it. Doc says if he doesn't, he'll take it in the putback bin. Edward, if you end up winning this, which it looks like you're going to, I'll end it at 9 o'clock too in about 60 seconds. I'll need to get your information so we can send you a bill for that next Monday. It'll be Monday before you get an invoice for it. You can watch all week. We got more jazz coming up, I think, tonight. And we have jazz every night. So we have all genres every night here. Okay, let's knock out a few in this crate. Grand Funk is a VG Plus $14.99. Grand Funk is a VG Plus $14.99. Eric Clapton and the Yardbirds with Sonny Boy Williamson. That's a VG Plus $19.99. '79 reissue. Bottom sleeve has some issues. The cover is a little bit damaged, but that's Eric Clapton and Sonny Boy Williamson, VG Plus, 1999. Okay, the Smiths is sold to Tony Shore. It's confirmed Tony Shore gets the Smiths for $88, and Jackie McLean is sold to, let me get this name right one more time, Edward Marticello. I think I'm correct on that. Edward, that's sold to you for $550. Now, I need you to send our Facebook page immediately a message with your email address and your mailing address. This Facebook page, your email address and mailing address. Actually, he just sent us a message. Hey, help me know how to pay for McLean. Okay, so he's already off the feed. We'll reply to him. He just sent a message to us. That's good. And that's sold to him for $550. I have a feeling he's good for that. All right, Roger Ramjet on FK. That's Freddie King to Roger Ramjet. Chris DeMoss wants the Sonny Boy Williamson. And we have Jonah Louie. Jonah Louie is VG Plus, $11.99. It's a UK import on yellow vinyl. Jonah Louie, yellow vinyl, Stiff Records, VG Plus, $11.99, UK import. Pure Perry League, busting out. VG copy, $9.99. An American in Texas, Uncle Walt's Band, VG Plus, $29.99. VG Plus, $29.99, original 1980 press. An American in Texas, Uncle Walt's Band. Air horn. Is it classy to blow an air horn for a jazz record? I mean, that would be breaking our rules if we didn't, but it is a jazz record. That seems kind of... Now, Alice in Chains, yes. I think there's a borderline. Now, if Edward's still watching and he wants the air horn, I hate to, first time buyer be like, what the heck's going on here? They're blowing an air horn at me. But, maybe, golf clap. If he wants the air horn, I'll bring it out. But I feel like there's an omission for jazz records with the air horn. Maybe a saxophone, something like that. He says he wants the air horn. Okay, let's go get it. Do I need to find it? It's in one of those white sorters over there in the plastic drawers. If Seth or Tanner can grab that, we'll do the air horn. Yeah, we need an omission for jazz records when they bring more than 500. Wow. Okay, Edward. Let me go back to the claims first before we miss anything. Edward Star Wars wants the Uncle Walt's Band. That's sold to Edward Star Wars. Make sure I didn't miss anything else before that. Yes, that went to Tony Shore for 88. Let's see here. Johnny Cash. Now there was a song. Johnny Cash is a VG copy, $9.99. That's a 1963 issue. Tanner's going to get the air horn, and then I'll explain what that is. The Best of KC and the Sunshine Band. These are cool. I own one of these. VG copy, $12.99. Get Down Tonight. That's the way I like it. 1976 UK import. That's a VG copy, $12.99. Thank you, Tanner. Nick Bagaron, first on Johnny Cash. JC to Nick, and KC to Robin. JC and KC. Nick Bagaron got JC. Robin got KC. Can we sacrifice a small rodent every time you sell a Cannibal Corpse record? Whew. Well, we'd have to have a lot of rodents. Romelu is on KC, second on KC, and Joe Maynard is third. Okay, so for those that's new, including Romelu, when I first started doing this, we would do some kind of celebratory thing anytime somebody bought a $100 record. Well, as our sales grow, and we started selling more $100 records because we had more people watching, and we started selling a lot more. We were selling a $100 record about every 3 minutes. So now it went to $250, then I think $400. Then I was like, okay, $500. It takes a $500 record to get the air horn. And so it happened last week. It happened last Monday night with Alice in Chains. And it's happening tonight with the Jackie McLean to our new customer, Romelu, who I may be butchering his last name, Marticello is what it looks like. But Romelu, Edward, did I say? What did I say? Edward? I can't even get his name right. Yeah, Edward. Edward, thank you. Here's your air horn. Congratulations. Tanner has left the room. It didn't phase Seth. Seth's over there. He's focused. He's keying in records. Okay, this is pretty beat, okay? But it's something we don't get into often. This is a VG minus copy of Public Enemy, Yo Bum Rush the Show. Yo Bum Rush the Show. It's VG with a VG minus or worse cover. It's got some scribbling on it. It actually has some cussing on it. Someone drew a cartoon on it, and there's a little bit of foul language there. So this is an archive of American history here. $15 start. That's just something we never get. It's a pretty beat copy, but if you need one, $15 start on Public Enemy. All right, make sure I didn't miss anything. A plaque at the store of air horn members on it. I don't think we have a list. I probably could make a post in the group and figure out everybody. That might be fun one day to do that. You get a certificate in your package. Congratulations. Robin Pruitt got Casey and the Sunshine Band. Romelu, you were second. Joe Maynard was third. And Romelu, you were second. Public Enemy's 15. Lots of $15 bids. Now 16. Okay, back to the crate, and then I'll put up a couple new Japanese. Iron Butterfly in Agata Davida. VG copy, $9.99. UTFO, not UFO, UTFO. VG, $9.99. A 1985 original. What does that stand for? Something flying object? Or maybe it's their names. VG, $9.99. Herbie Mann and the Bill Evans Trio, Nirvana. Cue somebody commenting that I missed a Nirvana record. You did, but it's Herbie Mann and Bill Evans. This is a VG copy, 1964 stereo, $16.99. $16.99. Public Enemy 16. Robin Pruitt first to Iron Butterfly. Allen's at 20 on Public Enemy. Alan Totten, you were second on Iron Butterfly. Colin Butler first to UTFO. Dennis Nelson second. Nick Baggeron, you were third on Iron Butterfly. Alan next on UTFO. And then Doc Smith. And yeah, never seen that Nirvana record exactly. Jerry Rafferty, City to City. That's a VG copy, $9.99. John Cougar Mellencamp. EX, $14.99. $14.99. Does have some sleeve issues. It's kind of scuffed right here. It's a cutout. EX, $14.99. Joy, Isaac Hayes. That's a VG copy, $9.99. That's a 1973 U.S. press. Isaac Hayes, Joy. Stephen Chesney, first on Jerry Rafferty. Michael Church, first on John Cougar. Colin Butler, first on Isaac Hayes. Those are all sold. Alan, you were second to Isaac Hayes. The high bid on Public Enemy is still $20 with Alan, and that's going twice and going 3 times. And that's a lower grade copy, but it exists, especially if you don't have one. Let me pull our next Japanese auction. I'm not even jumping around. I'm just pulling them straight out of the front of the bin. We have Deep Purple. Last concert in Japan. Deep Purple. This is a $45 start. $45 start, Deep Purple, last concert in Japan. Near mint and pristine Japanese pressing. There is the insert, and there's the cover with Obi. That's a $45 start. A person asked twice about the yellow vinyl. I must have missed that during all the air horn and jazz discussions. The yellow vinyl is this one right here. Jonah Louie. On the other hand, there's a fist. It's on yellow vinyl. It's VG Plus $11.99. UK import yellow vinyl. The first person to Isaac Hayes was Colin Butler. He put Joy. Alan was second. Then Doc, you were third. Public Enemy's now at 21 of Axel. $45 start on Deep Purple. Michael Jackson, Billie Jean. That is a... Where's the tag at? Here we go. VG Plus 1999. That's a 1983 UK import. 1983 UK import. Michael Jackson, Billie Jean. I don't know what's going on here. There's a sticker on the back that says page 106 reduced to 25%. I don't know what that means, but there's Thriller. Okay. Nirvana. That is Herbie Mann and the Bill Evans Trio. Should be Atlantic, the green and blue label. Atlantic. VG 1699 1964 stereo. And that was a VG 1699. Leslie Holt wants the Jonah Louie. That's so to Leslie Holt. Jeremy Dalton first on Michael Jackson, Billie Jean. And final call on Public Enemy for 21 to Axel Horn. The OJs live in London. VG copy, $9.99. The OJs live in London. Big Hits, High Tide and Greengrass, the Rolling Stones. That is a 66 Monarch in mono. A VG copy, $19.99. A VG copy, $19.99. That is, ooh, red label. VG 66 Monarch. Timothy, the Buoys, Give Up Your Guns. VG Plus, $9.99. The J. Giles Band, Freeze Frame. VG Plus, $14.99. Bad Company, Burning Sky, is a VG, $9.99. War Priest, Archaic Revival, VG Plus, $9.99 on purple vinyl. All right, Public Enemy is sold to Axel Horn for $21. If anybody wants Deep Purple, this is a $45 buy it now. $45 buy it now. Deep Purple, last concert in Japan. This is a $45 buy it now. Rosie Taylor on Bad Company and Colin Butler on War Priest. Those are both sold. The Challengers. The Challengers. Where Were You in the Summer of '62? That's a VG Plus $14.99 promo label. Music from Star Wars. Performed by the Electric Mood Orchestra. VG Plus $11.99. Tony, somebody's already claimed the Jonah. Somebody's already claimed that, Tony. Leslie asked about it and claimed it. Wild About Marty. Marty Wild. EX 1999. This is a 61 promo. The bottom seam is split. Bo Diddley. Go. VG $49.99. That's a 1959 Deep Groove Mono. Deep Groove Mono. Bo Diddley Go. Black checker label. And that is a 59 Deep Groove Mono. Nick Bagron, first to Star Wars. Robin, he just got it. It was $11.99. So no bids on Deep Purple. Let me pull out our next two. In order, which is Live Cream 2 and Men at Work. Live Cream 2, and we're going to do $45 starts on both of these. Cream 2 looks like it was never touched. We have a note on the back that says minty, meaning it's like perfect. $45 start on Live Cream 2. Same thing for Business as Usual. Same thing for Business as Usual by Men at Work. Emmett Rhodes, The American Dream. Emmett Rhodes is EX $24.99. 1971 Pittman reissue. Emmett Rhodes. Mingus. Me, Myself, and I. Charles Mingus. VG copy $14.99. Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. VG Plus $14.99. Saturday Night Fever. Genius of Love, The Tom Tom Club. VG Plus $9.99. Patsy Cline Greatest Hits. VG Plus $14.99. Patsy Cline Greatest Hits. VG Plus $14.99. Jeff McMaster, first on Charles Mingus. Doc Smith said, no diddly Mingus. I don't know if that was a double claim or some kind of odd typo. Steve Botsford is third on Charles Mingus. Mike Massey first on the Tom Tom Club. Doc, you were, either way, you were second on Charles Mingus. Ivan on Saturday Night Fever. Alan, you were second on Tom Tom Club. And Robert Pruitt was first to Patsy Cline. Doc, you're a hair late again. Now, are you wanting the Bo Diddley as well? Because I have it available if you want it. Cosmos Factory, Creedence Clearwater Revival, VG copy, 1999. Walk the Moon, featuring Daddy's Coming Home, Shake Break, and She Flies. $14.99 with press kit. With press kit, gold stamp promo, $14.99. Walk the Moon. Japan, VG Plus, $14.99. 1982 Terre Haute. Japan, self-titled. Van Morrison Moondance. This is a 73 reissue. VG Plus, $24.99. The seams have some splits. Final call to bid on these before I make them buy. Now, we have a whole crate full of Japanese vinyl. Where's David Johnson at? By now, he's usually asked, can I do a preview? Whole crate full. Ryan Anderson, first on Japan. That's sold to Ryan Anderson. Robert Palmer, Pressure Drop. VG Plus, $14.99. It's a 75 Terre Haute. The seams can be repaired. They're probably unglued. Yeah, those just need to be glued back. VG Plus, $14.99. The Now is a VG Plus, $9.99. There's tonight's Nightly Nudity. You got another look at it. Loudness is a VG Plus, $11.99. Does have some cover damage. Lightning Strikes, VG Plus, $11.99. Edward Star Wars, first on Robert Palmer. Condition on Moon. Walk the Moon was, this is actually, it got put in the check condition box, but it's not. This is John just priced this when I was getting here, and it includes a press kit too. It includes promo, information, booklet, photos of the band. It's a promotional press kit copy. Frank, let me know if you want that. Next is Fred Carnell. We're going to sell him Deep Purple for $40. Sell that to Fred Carnell for $40. Todd Tipton on Loudness. Condition on Moondance. Moondance. So we had two moons there. Moondance is a VG Plus, $24.99. VG Plus, $24.99. And then probably with seam splits on the cover, a VG or VG minus. Brittany's at 45 on Cream. Excellent decision. And then Chris offered 40. Well, before I say yes or no or counter, I thought Doc Smith may have wanted this because he put Bo Diddley Mingus in his comment. It looked like he was about to claim this or make an offer or something, and then the Charles Mingus popped up. So let me figure out what he wants to do there, then we'll come back to it. There was 3 moons there, including the Robert Palmer cover. That's right. Final call on Cream, and when I sell that in about 30 seconds, I'm also going to make Men at Work a buy it now. The Age of Electronicus, Dick Hyman. Dick Hyman is a VG Plus, $11.99. The Age of Electronicus. Excuse me. There's a U.S. copy of Fleetwood Mac Rumors. This is a 77 Jacksonville press, VG Plus, $24.99. The Age of Electronicus, sold to Colin Butler. Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Deja Vu, VG copy, $11.99. $11.99. Yes, the other sealed Beatles. Let me grab those. I want to take both, but I'm good now. Okay, so Doc. Chris, I'll do $45 on it. I'll do $45. I mean, he was about to buy it for $50, right? So I'll split that with you at $45. I got one more record in here. Flash and the Pan, Early Morning Wake Up Call. Flash in the Pan is a VG Plus, $9.99. Let's sell Brittany Bragg, Cream for $45. Let's sell Bo Diddley to Chris DeMoss for $45. And who wants the classic Men at Work album for $45? That's a $45 buy it now. Okay, I got another sealed Beatles here. I've got 2. Let's do this one first. Same starting price as the other, the Beatles 65. Now this one, we got an RIA number, which is 18, or a press and plant number next to the RIA symbol. This is also sealed. It's a punch hole, probably a early 70s Apple reissue, perfect shrink wrap. Of course, it is a punch hole, and that is a $55 start. That's a sealed copy of Beatles 65. Beautiful condition, too, for a sealed record that's still, I guess, technically 50 years old. You know, a lot of times I get sealed records and the shrink wrap is worn. They've even got discoloration, but this is nice. We don't know where these came from. John said they didn't come from Dallas. He found them in a random bin back there. I was like, man, I don't know. But 55 on that. Is Flash in the Pan pop? Yes, I think this is pop rock. Flash in the Pan. Condition on Cosmos and Jay Giles. All right, let me get back to those. Well, there's Cosmos. I'll go ahead and tell you that one. That was a VG copy, 1999. VG copy, 1999. And Jay Giles was VG Plus, 14.99. I've got 3 more bins of vintage to, 3 more bins of vintage to go through. And we'll probably, before we sign off, I'll do a recap of tonight's new vinyl. And what else? I guess that's it. Dennis Nelson said sold on both of them. Okay, those are both sold. Looking for a $55 start on the sealed Beetle 65. Next Japanese auction is Bryan Adams Reckless in shrink wrap with Obi, $45 start. In shrink wrap with Obi, $45 start. Shrink wrap and Obi, Bryan Adams Reckless, Japanese pressing, $45 start on that. So I think some of the biggest news in the music world today was Aerosmith's going on a farewell tour, and the Black Crowes are going to tour with them. So that'll be a cool concert. I'd say it's leg 1 of their farewell tour. I'm sure they'll start selling out, then they'll add more shows and then do it again next year. The music from Man from Uncle, VG Plus, $14.99. Split Ends, VG Plus, $9.99. Grand Funk, VG Plus, $14.99. Pure Prairie League, Bustin', VG copy, $9.99. Herbie Mann and Bill Evans Trio, Nirvana, VG copy, $16.99. The O'Jays Live in London, VG copy, $9.99. Big Hits, High Tide and Green Grass, The Rolling Stones, VG copy, $19.99. 1966 Monarch. Timothy, The Buoys, VG Plus, $9.99. Where were you in the summer of '62? The Challengers, VG Plus, $14.99 on a promo fantasy label. DJ copy, not for sale. Wild About Marty Wild, EX, $19.99. That's a 61 promo. Emmett Rhodes is EX, $24.99. That's a 71 Pittman reissue. Van Morrison Moondance, a classic album, VG Plus, $24.99. Joe Maynard's at 45 on Bryan Adams, going once, going twice. No bids yet on the Beatles. Sealed, looking for a $55 start. Doc Smith on the OJs. Doc Smith first on the OJs. Jedit, you were second on the OJs. Mike Cochran first on Timothy, The Buoys. That's sold to Mike Cochran. Ivan's at 60 on the Beatles. I've got one more after this, and it's Beatles Something New. I got a sealed copy, same era. Now, I do have a sealed copy of Revolver, but I think it's an earlier one. I'm definitely not running that one tonight till I find out more about it. Paul Brothers on Van Morrison. Will Price, Paul Brothers just beat you to it. The Now is a VG Plus, $9.99. Walk the Moon is $14.99. That's near mint. Fleetwood Mac Rumors, VG Plus, $24.99. Crosby, Stills and Nash, VG, $11.99. And Flash in the Pan is VG Plus, $9.99. Gordon Lightfoot just passed away. I think the last death announcement that I got live during a sale was Taylor Hawkins, which was, I guess, well over a year ago now. Wow, well, that's unfortunate. What a legend. My uncle went and seen him at the Ryman, and I highly regret not going. That was just a couple years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, probably longer than I realize. Let's see here. Cindy Carroll, offer 10 for Herbie Mann. Cindy, I've got Brent Rabley claiming it at full price. So let me know if you want that for $16.99. If you don't want it for $16.99, then it's sold to Brent Rabley. Okay, let's sell Bryan Adams to Joe Maynard for $45. No one else bid on that. And let me do a final call on the Beatles 65 for $60. That's to Ivan. I got one more sealed Beatles. Anybody else on anything in here before I set up a whole new crate of others? Gordon Lightfoot, my guess is he had to be late 70s, early 80s. That's going to be my guess. He started a long time ago. He was putting out singles, I think, in the early 60s. He was probably 20 years old 60 years ago. All right, I think this is a near mint crate, so let's go through it. I think the rest of the crates tonight are near mint records. He was 84. Boy. Well, there's a high possibility one of his records. We've already had 2 tonight. I know. We've already sold 1. I think there's usually 2 to 5 Gordon Lightfoot records in every show, at least. I mean, he prolific singer-songwriter. I did. Somebody claimed both of those. You should have tagged, or let me see, Crosby, Stills, and Nash? Maybe. Craig Johnson. Oh, yeah, Deja Vu. No, I got it. Never mind. Craig Johnson wants this? Craig Johnson wants this. Okay. Craig Johnson, I got your CSN. Ivan, John Young's at 62 on the Beatles. John Young's at 62 on the Beatles, Ivan. Let me know if you're in or out. John Young has that for 62. Let me pull our next Japanese pressing, which is Rod Stewart's Greatest Hits. Rod Stewart's Greatest Hits is a $35 start. Near mint and pristine Japanese pressing with obi and inserts. $35 start. 1999, How Great Thou Art, in shrink wrap. Elvis Presley, original black RCA label. 1999. Ivan's back in at 65. By the way, Cindy said Brent can have that. Elvis, Almost in Love, $9.99. Elvis, Almost in Love, $9.99. So Brent Rabley got the Herbie Man. Elvis in Concert, 1999. Elvis in Concert, 1999. Elvis Country, $14.99. The Best of John Mayall is $34.99. The Best of John Mayall. Wanda Jackson Country Gospel, $9.99. Sell to Cindy. Well, I don't think Cindy wants to pay $16.99. So I think Cindy was passing at $16.99. So if you pass, then it's still up for sale if anybody wants it. Mo Bandy and Joe Stampley's Greatest Hits. That is sealed, $14.99. Mo Bandy and Joe Stampley, Greatest Hits, sealed. Or not sealed, in shrink wrap. No, it's sealed. It's sealed, $14.99. Loretta Lynn, I Want to Be Free. That is $9.99. So Loretta Lynn, I Want to Be Free. Lester Flatt, Rollin', $9.99. And Country Jukebox. Country Jukebox, $9.99. Okay. John Young, let me know if you're in or out on the Beatles. Ivan has that for 65. Final call. Rod Stewart's a $35 start, so we can just put back the Herbie Man. I don't think anybody wants it now. Matthew Christ, you're first on Elvis. Let me know if you want Country, Elvis in Concert, Almost in Love, or How Great Thou Art. Let me know on that. Leslie Holt, we can go ahead and pull this. Leslie was first on Wanda Jackson. John Young's back in on the Beatles at 67. Paul Brothers wants How Great Thou Art if Matthew Christ doesn't claim it. We'll see which one Matthew wants. He does want How Great Thou Art, so that's sold to Matthew. Paul Brothers was second. Rage Against the Machine and Collective Soul. Chandler, those are $29.99 and $34.99. And we have waiting lists for both of them. Everything is in here is sticker price for right now. The Dead Kennedys 40th anniversary release, 4 LP set of 3 unreleased live shows. That's from 2019 and it's sealed. That is $74.99. Ivan says he's out on the Beatles. John Young has that for $67. Going twice, going 3 times now. The Heart and Soul of Rock and Roll box set, $34.99. The Heart and Soul of Rock and Roll box set, $34.99. Dennis Nelson first on the Dead Kennedys. Todd Tipton wants on the Rage list along with Gene Chandler. I'm thinking about the Duke of Earl. Chandler Harris wants on the Rage and the Collective Soul waiting list along with Todd Tipton. Papa John Creech, Filthy, $9.99. Triumvirate, a la carte, $14.99. The Beach Boys, Endless Summer, $19.99. Beach Boys, Endless Summer, that's a 2LP compilation. The Summit Sessions with Dave Brubeck, $19.99. The Summit Sessions with Dave Brubeck. Let me put Herbie Mann back in here, even though it's a check condition record. All right, let's go ahead and sell the Beatles. We need to put that in a sleeve ASAP to John Young for $67. Rod Stewart is a $35 buy it now. Who wants it? Rod Stewart's Greatest Hits, a beautiful looking, pristine Japanese pressing. I'm going to run the last sealed Beatles album we have, which is Something New. Once again, a punch hole. I think these all came from the same place. This has a 16 on the back of it. No other information. Definitely not a barcoded record. Early 70s Apple pressing. That is a $55 start. $55 start for Something New. All righty. John Duran wants the Rock and Roll box set. That's so to John Duran. Craig Johnson on the Beach Boys Endless Summer. Steve Botsford on the Dave Brubeck Summit Sessions. Dennis Nelson is going to get the Rod Stewart Japanese pressing for $35. And we have the Dave Brubeck Quartet featuring Jerry Mulligan, Alan Dawson, Jack Six, the last set at Newport. That is $19.99. The punch hole means it was a record that didn't sell, and it was a punch out because it was a discounted record, or it was a promo copy. One of the two. And I think we determined these are probably punch outs because they didn't sell. Same thing with saw marks and gold stamp promos. That's what that means. Well, gold stamp promo definitely means promo, but saw marks and punch outs, that's what that is referring to. California Jam 2. California Jam 2. This is a $45 start. $45 start. This has, let me read off some of the artists that's on California Jam 2. I don't know if we've had this as a Japanese pressing. Santana, Dave Mason, Hart, Ted Nugent, Aerosmith, Jean-Michel Jarre, that's how you say his name, Frank Marino, and Rubicon. This is California Jam, beautiful copy. There's Ted, there's Aerosmith, Hart, Dave Mason. That's a 2LP live concert, pristine Japanese pressing. And look at this. It has a set of, not speakers, a set of stickers with it. It does not come with speakers. It comes with stickers. Somebody took one, though. I wonder who they took there. Hart. Looks like they took the Hart sticker. Don't blame them. And there's the lyric booklet. There's the lyric booklet and additional information. That's a $45 start. Okay. Looking for a $55 start on the Beatles. Good Night Tonight, Wings, $14.99. That's a 12-inch single. Good Night Tonight, Fleetwood Mac Rumors. EX Plus near mint copy here, $32.99 with the insert. That has the lyric insert with it. That is Fleetwood Mac Rumors. We have Wings, and we have another Wings, Back to the Egg. Wings is $24.99. Back to the Egg. George Harrison, 33 1/3, $24.99. $24.99. Al Di Meola, Cielo Itera. I'm sure I'm butchering that. $9.99. Elvis, Burning Love, $9.99. The Very Best of Ray Stevens, $9.99. Ray Stevens, The Feeling's Not Right Again, $9.99 for Ray Stevens again. That's in shrink wrap with hype sticker. Includes the hit, I Need Your Help, Barry Manilow. Hoyt Axton, Pistol Packin' Mama, $9.99 for Hoyt Axton. Nashville Gold, $19.99. That's Porter, Dolly, Eddie, Connie, Floyd, Dottie, Skeeter, Kenny, Willie, Dallas, Jim, Jerry, John, Chet, Waylon, Bobby, Danny, Nat, George. Country Comes to Carnegie Hall. That's with Roy Clark, Freddie Fender, Hank Thompson, and Don Williams. $19.99. Let's see here. Todd Tipton, the Fleetwood Mac is OG. Well, we don't have the, let me rephrase that. We don't have the exact pressing information. Definitely the original label. They made so many of these, but yes, it's not a reissue and it's not a second label. It's the first label. I can tell you that for sure. Let me see here. John Young's at 55 on the Beatles. Edward wants ADM. ADM, Edward, what's Al Di Meola? That's sold to Edward in Star Wars. What were the Ray Stevens? That was Greatest Hits or the Very Best Of, and The Feeling's Not Right. They're both $9.99. Alan Totten, the Hoyt Axton, was $9.99. Ivan says he's at 70 on the Beatles. Ivan's at 70 on the Beatles. Okay, we had a $55 bid from John. Ivan's at 70. John Young says he's out. So, Ivan, you've got that Beatles for 70. Tommy Green, we're looking for a $45 bid on California Jam. And final call on the Beatles. And Alan Totten said sold on Hoyt Axton. That's sold to Alan Totten. Kenny Rogers, Kenny, in shrink wrap, contains the single You Decorated My Life, $9.99. Kenny Rogers, Love Will Turn You Around, contains the theme song Love Will Turn You Around from the movie Six Pack. That is $9.99. Tommy Green, thank you. You're at 45 on California Jam. Final call, Bluegrass Gold, Lester Flatt and the Nashville Grass, $12.99 for Lester Flatt. 20 classic tracks by Glenn Campbell, $9.99. They're all on here. Galveston, Southern Nights, Rhinestone Cowboy, that's $9.99. Don't Come Home A-Drinkin', Loretta Lynn. That's in shrink wrap. It's an MCA second press. Loretta is $9.99. Buck Owens, Big Country. It's Buck Owens, $9.99. Conway Twitty, This Time I've Hurt Her More Than She Loves Me, $9.99. All righty here. We got James Cohorn first on the Ray Stevens Greatest Hits. That's sold to James Cohorn. Rosie Taylor on the Loretta Lynn, Don't Come Home A-Drinkin'. Tommy Flowers, a.k.a. Chasing Heart on YouTube, gets the Buck Owens. Walter Savage wants the Conway Twitty. All righty. We have Nashville Airplane, Flat and Scruggs, $12.99. Nashville Airplane and Classic Rich, Charlie Rich, $9.99. California Jam is sold to Tommy Green for $45. That's a heavy package, all the inserts and stickers and stuff. And then Ivan gets the Beatles Something New for $70. Those are sold to Ivan. And we have Paul Gill on Flat and Scruggs. Paul Gill on Flat and Scruggs. Let me breeze through those one more time. Let me also put up 2 new auctions. What I'm doing, I've not went through this crate. I'm just pulling straight out of the front. I got Nina and the Eagles. Nina and the Eagles coming up next. Of course, the amazing Nina self-titled release. This one looks exceptionally nice. $45 start, Nina. $45 start, near mint and pristine. We have a Japanese insert with it here. We have a very nice cover with Obi. $45 start. And the classic Eagles Greatest Hits. This is a $55 start. Near mint and pristine. Fantastic Eagles Greatest Hits. There's the lyric insert. Textured cover. Very nice with Obi. 55 on that. All right, so there we have it. I'm just gonna read through titles with these. I've got 2 more new bins and new arrivals. And at some point, I'd like to recap New Vinyl because we got some good stuff and a lot of... I'm going to read off all of our waiting list because there's some stuff that I won't have back in the crates, but you may want on a waiting list. Herbie Mann and Bill Evans Trio. Elvis Almost in Love. Elvis in Concert. Elvis Country. The Best of John Mayall. Mo Bandy and Joe Stampley. Loretta Lynn, I Want to Be Free. Lester Flatt Rollin'. Country Jukebox. Papa John Creech. Triumvirate, the Dave Brubeck Quartet. Jeff said you pulled the wrong book. No, I think he was meaning wrong book as in he already has that one. Good Night Tonight, Wings. Wings Back to the Egg. George Harrison, 33 1/3. Elvis Burning Love. Ray Stevens, The Feeling's Not Right Again, featuring I Need Your Help, Barry Manilow. Nashville Gold Comp. Country Comes to Carnegie Hall. Kenny Rogers, Kenny. Fleetwood Mac Rumors. Kenny, Love Will Turn You Around from Six Pack. Lester Flatt, Bluegrass Gold. Can't believe no one got Glenn Campbell. That's like everything in one LP. That's $9.99. And Classic Rich, Charlie Rich. Country Comp Bundle. Let's see here. We've got Nashville Gold. Is there another one? There's Country Jukebox. Now, are you wanting the Country Comes to Carnegie Hall too? Let me know if you're wanting that one too. On these two, I'll say these two for $8 and $18, so $26 on both of those. $26 on both of those, Chris, if you're good with that. If you want that third one, I'll add it in there also for a discount. DBQ price and condition. First, let's go ahead and tag Craig Weatherford for the Glenn Campbell. And Chris said sold both of those for 26. Let me figure out what DBQ was. DBQ, Dave Brubeck Quartet. It is near mint, $19.99. VG Plus cover just because it has some sticker residue. RL Led Zeppelin. Not tonight. I've got some to sell, but not tonight. Anybody else on anything in that bin, now is your time. Now is your time. Let me do a couple crate condensing because they might need these here in a minute. All of our crates. I need to get a hold of. I think we've bought that collection in Wisconsin. I'm not for sure. So. Okay. Okay, so is that final? Okay. Hey, so we bought some it looks like we bought some records in Wisconsin. Yeah. All right, so we got a collection we just bought in Wisconsin. It should be on the way back down tomorrow. So, and then we're going to South Carolina and Kentucky and Memphis. Yeah, that guy. He texted me back this morning. He finally did a count. Took him 2 days to count them, so that tells you how many he had. It took him. The guy in Atlanta. He really counted his. I mean, he counted every single one of them. He had them marked and tagged. He counted everything. It took him like 2 days to count 10,000 records, which that's true. I mean, if you're really flipping through them and counting them, it will take you that long. It's incredible how long it takes you to accurately count records. So, let me figure out. So that crate I've already been through. Okay, this has some more hip-hop stuff in it, including a lot of singles. Let me go through this crate. Let's see here. Best price on Rumors. Brent, no bid on the Eagles. We're looking for a $55 start. Paul Gill. Let me figure out where we're at here. Lester, Dave Brubeck. Had a couple claims here. John Mayall was the best of John Mayall, $34.99. There's Lester. What was the other? Fleetwood Mac. Okay. Here's what I'll do for y'all. We've got Brent, that's a $55. Paul Gill, I will do Lester for $10, if that's the one you was wanting. Lester for $10, Paul Gill. Todd, I'll do Fleetwood Mac for $30. Fred Carnell, I'll do $18 on that. John Mayall was best of, $34.99. All right. No bids on Nina or Eagles. Final call before I make them a buy it now. Paul said 10 on Lester. Maybe everybody else will say sold. Hopefully. Okay, we have Hitler's March to Czechoslovakia, World War II, 1999. I've never seen that before. The United States' first week at war. Time capsule, 1999. Never seen that before. From the March of Time broadcast, December 11th, 1941. So, okay, so I think everything's sold. Let me make sure there. Paul Gill said Lester flat, $10. Fred Carnell said 18 on that. We'll see if Todd Tipton takes Rumors for 30. That's the only thing really pending there. Krista Moss gets World War II. I'll lay that on top there. That's sold to Krista Moss. We have Jane Eyre and the Belvedere's. Jane Eyre is $19.99. Todd also said sold on Rumors, $30. Jane Eyre. We have Talk Talk, Such a Shame. Talk Talk is $12.99. Such a Shame. Electronic Sugar Cube Flashbacks, $24.99. Electronic Sugar Cube Flashbacks, $24.99. The Fabulous Wailers at the Castle, featuring Rockin' Robin and Gail Harris, recorded live. 1984 reissue, $24.99. Tony Shore wants Talk Talk. I think we just had this the other night, didn't we? $24.99. This was Dementia 13. Dementia 13, $24.99. The Wailers, Out of Our Tree. That's a mono reissue, $54.99. The Whalers out of our tree, $54.99. The Buddy Holly Story. Well, that's a weird cover. That is $19.99. That's a 61 Australia press. The Buddy Holly Story, $19.99. Check out that label from Australia, $19.99. Violent Femmes, The Blind Leading the Naked, gold stamp promo, $49.99. Violent Femmes, The Blind Leading the Naked. Copperhead, $19.99. Copperhead, $19.99. Chick Corea and Return to Forever, Light as a Feather, $12.99 for Chick Corea. Let's Dudek, Say No More, Say No More. Let's Dudek is $14.99. Jeff McMaster first on BH, which was Buddy Holly, the Australian press. Craig Thomas first of Violent Femmes. The Whalers, as in Bob Marley and the Whalers. No, this Whalers is a California early mid-60s surf group. Yeah, this came out originally in 62. That's a surf group, the Whalers from California, early 60s. Doc Smith first to Chick Corea. Doc Smith first to Chick Corea. Let's make these bite nows. Nina is a $45 bite now if anybody wants it. And the Eagles is a $55 bite now. And that only leaves Men at Work. That's the only thing still left over here. Men at Work, which was also a $45 buy now. So there's Nina and there's the Eagles. I'm going to show a few more records, then grab the next two in the bin, which looks like the Rocky soundtrack and something else. So let me put these right here. Okay. Next, another Let's Dudek. That is $14.99. Graham Nash and David Crosby, $19.99. Rick is 21. That is Ricky Nelson, $14.99. Ricky Nelson, original inner sleeve, Imperial label. Elliot Murphy, Night Lights. Elliot Murphy is $9.99. How much was the electronic sugar cube flashback? That was $24.99. Electronic sugar cube flashback. Looks strange enough. I can't believe no one bought it. Liz Damon's Orient Express. That is sealed, unopened, $19.99. Contraband. Contraband is $24.99. Crane, $14.99 for Crane. Dion and the Belmonts Together Again, $9.99. Ray Scott, The Prayer. Ray Scott, The Prayer, $9.99. Still of the Night, 95 North presents Primetime. Still of the Night, 95 North mix and hard dub. Is that like Still of the Night? I don't know what that is exactly. Musical mix. When I hear Still of the Night, I think Whitesnake, but I think that's something completely different. It's from 1994. Alan wants Ray. That was Ray Scott. The 95 North, Still the Night. That was $49.99. I think Alan wants it. Jeff was second asking the price. Incredible Bongo Machine, Acid Rain, $49.99. Incredible Bongo Machine, Acid Rain, $49.99. Schoolie D, $9.99. Schoolie D, Some Smoke Kill, $9.99. Sinatra Trilogy, $34.99. Sinatra Trilogy. Welcome to Columbia Country. 20 great country stars, 20 great country performances. That is $14.99. Welcome to Columbia Country. 2i. Jeff McMaster wants the Schoolie D. That's so to Jeff McMaster. Alan's going to put this one back. I'm going to put it back in the bin. So scratch that one and give that one to Jeff McMaster. Jeff, if you want the 95 North, it is $49.99 if you want it. Chris DeMoss wants the Columbia Country comp, and Brittany Bragg wants the Sugar Cube from earlier. That's so to Brittany Bragg. Jay and the Americans, early American hits. $9.99 for Jay and the Americans. Crawler is $14.99. Elvin Bishop Live, Raising Hell. Elvin Bishop is $19.99. Lee Andrews and the Hearts, biggest hits. Lee Andrews, $9.99. Let me grab our next two Japanese auctions, which is going to be Rocky and Carole King Music. Rocky and Carole King Music. Rocky, original motion picture score, is a $35 start. Rocky, original motion picture score. That is a $35 start. Japanese press, awesome cover with Obi. Has the Japanese insert. Rocky is a $35 start. Carole King music. Carole King, we sold Tapestry tonight. This is a near mint copy of another one of her great albums, Music. That is a $35 start as well. Jeff McMaster wants L.A. That's Lee Andrews, and Rydell Martin was second. Grab the Sealed Revolver. Not tonight. I'll do it this week. I'll do it tomorrow if you remind me. I need to send you some pictures so we can figure out what copy. It doesn't have a colored inner sleeve. I've already checked that. I peeked enough in it. So it doesn't have a colored inner sleeve. It looks white, but I really can't tell. But it looks like it's white, so it probably is. Trouble in School, Private Lines, $9.99. Trouble in School, Private Lines. Elvis, the first live recordings, $19.99 for Elvis, the first live recording. Sinatra, A Man and His Music, $24.99 on Sinatra, A Man and His Music. The Blue Sky Boys, Bill and Earl Bollick, The Blue Sky Boys is sealed, unopened, $19.99. The Producers, You Make the Heat, The Producers is $9.99. Paul Revere and the Raiders, Just Like Us, $12.99. Highlight, 22 more original hits by the original artist. The second album is $12.99. Hooters, Amore, $19.99. The Ascenders is $9.99. Greg Allman, Playing Up a Storm, $19.99. Ray Gomez, Volume, $12.99. And Wayne Fontana, $9.99. Tony Shore, first to the Hooters. That's sold to Tony Shore. Looking for $35 starts on these auctions. The Complete Buddy Holly. I think this is everything. $69.99. The Complete Buddy Holly. For the first time ever, this is the complete collection of every record by Buddy Holly and the Crickets together, with many rare and hard-to-find interviews, television appearances, demo recordings, over 120 tracks, $69.99. Now, if that came out today in 2023, that would probably cost $399.99. That is $69.99. Mark Farner from Foreigner. That is sealed, one of his solo albums, $19.99. Soundtrack recordings from the film Jimi Hendrix, $34.99. Clean copy. Jimi Hendrix, $34.99. Jimi Hendrix Band of Gypsies 2. Wow, I've never seen them do the 2. I've never seen them do that. Didn't know they did that, I guess. I know it's been released, but Band of Gypsies 2, $34.99. $34.99, Band of Gypsies 2. The Cry of Love. Hey, this one's actually on the cover here. That's a German presser, $39.99. Mark Farner. Grand Funk. Yes, not Foreigner. Grand Funk. My bad. The Cry of Love. Cry of Love. Foreigner. Foreigner is Lou Gramm. Foreigner is Lou Gramm. Not Mark Farner. You got me, Tony and Jeff. Can I see both sides label of Band of Gypsies? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There's side 2. Well, it's got a lot of matrix numbers. ALSP B23242 REL-22 SJ-2-12416-22-RRL Delta Triangle Symbol 14004-X 1W1WS1-D, and then scratched out is B250717-Z2. Wow, that's a lot of information. John, if you don't want that, it is sold to Brian C. Brian C. was first to that. The Eternal Fire of Jimi Hendrix with Curtis Knight. The Eternal Fire. That is $24.99. That's a Hallmark record. McKendree Spring. $14.99. McKendree Spring. Spring Sweet. Elvis the Hillbilly Cat. $19.99. Live and Strong. Or Live and Strong, probably. Bad Vultures, $29.99. That's 1996 clear vinyl. And the B-Boys, Stick It Up, $9.99. I only showed side 1. That wasn't very helpful, was it? There's side 1. There's side 2. I guess I probably showed you. Let me show them again. There's side 1. And here's side 2. If you don't want it, Brian C. does. Okay, John says he's got it. He'll pass. That's so to Brian C. Where are we at here? Let's make these buy it nows. If anybody wants Carole King, $35 buy it now. It's going here with Eagles, Nina, and Men at Work. And if anybody wants Rocky, it's a $35 buy it now. Rocky's a $35 buy it now. So no bids on those. $35.35 if anybody wants them. They are available. They are available. Okay, I'm going to read through these titles. Let me do that one more time because there was a lot in here, a lot of odd stuff, and I'll do those one more time. We've got 2 more Japanese auctions coming up, which is Janis Joplin and Bob Dylan. I think we sold a check condition one of these earlier, didn't we? Yeah, let me skip that one. We've already sold one of those tonight. First one I've skipped in the bin, and we'll do Janis Joplin and Cheap Trick, always popular. We have Cheap Trick, Dream Police. Wow. $45 start. Looks like a very nice Japanese pressing. There is the Near Mint Minus LP. There's the lyric booklet. It also looks like it has a solicitation form. Hurry up and order. There's the very nice cover with Obi. Looks like it does have a couple spots. Not really much noticeable. Kind of blends in with the cover really. But that is a $45 start. That's Cheap Trick, their classic album, Dream Police. And then Janis Joplin, self-titled. This is technically the soundtrack to the film. This is a 2 LP. I've never had this before. $65 start. Janis Joplin, Janis. 60 from the soundtrack, from the motion picture, Janis. $65 start. That has a booklet with it, and both LPs are Near Mint Minus. $65 and $45 on those. Larry Smith wants to know the Buddy Holly condition. The box is pretty nice, just moderate common shelfware. And let's take a look at what it looks like. Doc's waiting on for some jazz. We'll see what's in the next crate. There should be a little bit more tonight. There's an insert, it looks like, with all of the listings. Book, there's no condition. I'm sure he's went through and cleaned all these. And yeah, this looks like unplayed. I don't know if I can show you this. That might be too close. Let me shut the lid. Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling that's how they all look. He cleaned and checked all of them, no condition notes. So they're all going to be EX Plus to Near Mint Minus, and that was $69.99. And that's, how many LPs is that? Let's see here. I'll leave those out of that for a second. Figure out how to shut this. It's got this tape on the back, which is part of the box, like this. Let me figure out how to shut that. There we go. One, two. It is MCA Coral, too. Nashville, Tennessee, changing all those changes. 6 LPs. Yeah, that would not be cheap if that came out today. All that music. I don't know if there's anything really in print by Buddy Holly. I need to check on that, just a curiosity. Rob Show. I think I don't know. We'll need to check on that. Make a note, we need to check on Rob Show's invoice. If you can't figure out a way of pay with PayPal, I think what we reached a conclusion on, if you can't figure out a way with PayPal, then there might not be a way you can pay for your invoice. We send out a Square invoice, and you can figure out how to pay with PayPal. Some people figure it out, but it's really set up to use a credit or debit card. Do you have a credit or debit card? If you have a credit or debit card, then you can put that in, and it'll pay it right away. If you only have PayPal, and you can't figure out how to use it, then we may not be able to sell you those records. So, Larry, I'll sell you the Buddy Holly for $65 if you want it. Let me read through these one more time. Jane Eyre and the Belvederes, the Fabulous Wailers, Dementia 13. This is the Dementia 13 Fred Carnell. It's $24.99. It's Dementia 13 self-titled, $24.99. The Wailers, Out of Our Tree, Copperhead, Les Dudek, Let's Do That, Graham Nash and David Crosby. Rick Nelson is 21. Elliot Murphy, Larry Smith, I will say the Buddy Holly for $65. $65 if you want that. Les Damon's, Orient Express, Contraband, Crane, Dion and the Belmonts, Incredible Bongo Machine, 95 North, Frank Sinatra Trilogy, Jay and the Americans, Nick Bagron, the Copperhead Price. Copperhead Price is $19.99. Larry Smith said sold. That's sold to Larry Smith for $65. Crawler, $14.99. Live Elvin Bishop, Trouble in School, Private Lines, Elvis, the first live recordings, Sinatra, A Man and His Music. The Blue Sky Boys was sealed. The Producers, Parvir and the Raiders, Highlight, The Ascenders, Ray Gomez, Greg Allman, Wayne Fontana, Mark Farner of Grand Funk, Jimi Hendrix, McKendree Spring, Elvis, Live and Strong by the Vultures, and the B-Boys. Okay, next. Yes, Tim Bachman also passed away yesterday. That's true. The two Wailers LPs are Out of Our Tree is a mono reissue for $54.99, and the Fabulous Wailers at the Castle is $24.99. That was a 1984 price. Showstopper on over here. Normally transfer direct or PayPal. You have to usually have a credit card or something to set up a PayPal account. That's why you should be able to use one of those two to pay. Elvis Live, how much? We had the Hillbilly Cat by Elvis. Let me figure out what Elvis Live was. Was there an Elvis Live? I guess there was. Yes, Elvis, the first live recordings. That was $19.99, Rami Lou. Dion, Claymore, Dion. The only way I know, though, is when we send you that invoice, you can pay through PayPal, credit, or debit card. And if that's not possible, then I guess you could mail a money order from the the Netherlands, and when it gets here, when it clears, I'll ship you the records. But we really don't like taking any kind of money order or check, because that really messes up our, just trying to keep up with that, making sure it's got in the mail, make sure it's cleared, marking it as paid. So that is $9.99. Dion and the Belmonts together again. Yeah. Do you have Google Pay? That's option number 2A when it comes to PayPal. First live sold to Rami Lou. How much on Greg? Greg Allman was $19.99. Playing Up a Storm. Playing Up a Storm. How much on Live Cat? Live Cat. Let me figure out what that is. How much on the Elvin Bishop Live? $19.99. What Vultures? Somebody also asked the sides on the B-Boys. That is Stick Up Kid and Stick Up Kid. $9.99. Live or Live and Strong, Bad Vultures. No, it's not the Crooked Vultures. Everybody can take a deep breath. 1996 clear vinyl. $29.99. Clay Moore said Dion sold. Let me make sure I put that. That is sold to Clay Moore. You need to upgrade your Square to accept PayPal. I think it is, but you have to do it through Google Pay. See, the problem with Square and PayPal are those are head-button companies. Square is a payment processor, and so is PayPal. What's that, Seth? Those are conflicting companies. So Square doesn't like using PayPal, okay, even though they still make money either the same way. Those are like conflicting companies. Nick Bagron, the Hillbilly Cat, is $19.99. Hillbilly Cat is $19.99. And then Wailers Out of Our Heads 48 is the next one. Wailers Out of Our Heads for 40. Out of our tree, or out of our heads, out of our tree. This one, 54. Sell that to Brent Rabley for 48. Label on Vultures. This one right here is 1996 clear vinyl. Sean, it's on the, is it a private press? All selections produced by Bad Vultures. Vulture Rock Records. Yeah, it might be a private press. And Tree. Yes, Brent's got that for 48. If you have a credit or debit card in your hand, if you just key in those numbers, it will pay for your invoice. That's about the easiest way I can explain it. Unfortunately, like I said, Square and PayPal are conflicting companies, so they don't like to work together, and they make it kind of difficult. It's, let's see, it's Copperhead Southern Rock Group out of Georgia. Let me find out. Somebody asked earlier for the price, but I wasn't real for sure. Copperhead, 1973. It doesn't have a lot of information on it. Nothing on the inner sleeves too. It's on Columbia Records, and that is 1973, 1999. Okay, I have a recap of some, let me do some new vinyl right quick. I've got a recap of some stuff from tonight. Let me do that right here. That was the first crate. Definitely went through some albums tonight. Let me do a little bit of condensing here. Is that new vinyl? Yep, that one already got emptied. Is that new vinyl? That's new vinyl. Let me combine these with these. I think this is the first crate we went through. I may need to take a peek at the sticky notes too in just a second. All right, here. Okay, we've got, let's see here. Stick Up Kids available. Yes, Stick Up Kids is available. The Vultures was $29.99. $29.99. Okay, and I'm about to end these. I hadn't shown them in a while, but Cheap Trick's 45 and Janis Joplin is 55. Okay, let me run through these new LPs one more time, and I'm going to tell everybody, some of them we've already sold out of. I'll let you know our waiting list. We have the Tarantino Experience Volume 3. That is the Volume 3, and that is on red and yellow vinyl. That is $44.99. The Tarantino Experience, that's on red and yellow vinyl, $44.99. We had a restock of the Kiss Ace Frehley album, $33.99 for Kiss Ace Frehley. There was a waiting list for that if you missed it earlier. That was Brandon Jackson, Ken Crooker, Arthur Maldondo, and Trey Mendenhall. Rock and Roll Over, last copy, $33.99. Lots of Soundgarden down on the upside, or excuse me, Soundgarden, Screaming Life, and Fop, $33.99. Got several of those left. Judas Priest Killing Machine is $29.99. Crown Lands Fearless, $49.99. George Strait Oceanfront Property, $28.99. Sabotage Power of the Night, $37.99. The Top Gun soundtrack, $28.99. Sabotage Edge of Thorns, $48.99. Two of those left, Edge of Thorns. Pink Floyd Relics, $34.99. Dead Winter Dead by Sabotage, $56.99. And then two other Sabotage. Streets, a Rock Opera, $58.99. And Sabotage Gutter Ballet, $44.99. We had a waiting list for Collective Soul. Yes, that was the big one for tonight. Collective Soul. Collective Soul self-titled is $34.99. Colin Butler wants Relics. Colin, that's why I reordered that. I ordered a couple. I was hoping you'd get one. Collective Soul and Rage Against the Machine. That's the two big ones. Collective Soul is $34.99 self-titled, and Rage Against the Machine, Evil Empire. And that's the one that has Bulls on Parade. Bulls on Parade. That is $29.99. I will check into the Square issue and PayPal. That's more. Here it is. This is what it looks like. Actually, I will forward that over to Tanner, who's sitting right next to me. And we'll figure out if there's some kind of button we need to switch on our side. But we've never been offered anything like that. So we'll figure it out, though, if anybody wants that. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I need to take a break. I got to call our crew up in Wisconsin, or maybe before it gets too late, he may even be watching, or they may even be watching. Earlier, my home had a burglar alarm on my garage door. I think the police went out there, and I'd really like to go check on my house. They never did call me, so I don't think it's anything bad, but I'm going to go home, which I don't live but about 7 minutes from here. So I'm going to do that, check on my house. Good thing is there's food there, so I'm going to go get some food, and then we'll come back at, let's just go ahead and say, at the latest, 11 o'clock, okay? Because at the latest, 11 o'clock. If earlier, we'll start earlier. But normally we'd stop at 10:30 and come back at 11, and we'll do nothing but half-off records, okay? So we are having a part 2, half-off records. We are having a part 2, half-off records. At the latest, we'll start at 11. Hopefully you get a notification if we come back sooner. But I've got to do a couple extra things before we do that. So, and then we'll do a solid hour of half-off records. This is $45 buy now, the Fred Carnell. Fred got that for $45. If anybody wants Janis Joplin, it was $65. I'll go back over those during part 2. I still now have a half a crate of Japanese stuff. That was all of the new vinyl from tonight. And we still have a crate of new arrivals. I don't know if we'll do those tonight or tomorrow. We are having another show tomorrow. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, possibly, and then Saturday. So that's tonight's lineup. Okay. All right, I'm going to end the feed. We'll be back at the latest at 11 o'clock, hopefully earlier. And we'll do half-off records and more Japanese auctions when we come back. I'll